So I guess we'll
Holy
just
shit, that's a
yeah.
lot of tabs.
I got a little
Wow.
bored while on the phones. All right, I got a little bored on the phones.
No, no worries.
All right, cool. So I guess we'll just jump right into it. I don't know what I think I'm an episode. I think you're gonna be episode 91. Like you're gonna air next week. I think is what you will
Okay.
be, and then
Well,
we'll.
so only two episodes in between, huh? Or one episode actually, right? Because I think I was 89.
Yeah, I think you were 89. But like, dude, I threw that out. Nobody's hit me up. Nobody's hit me up.
Yikes.
No. Well, did you see that one about the man post, the man tools or whatever
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Reddit, where he kind of got a little pissed off? He's like, if you don't like it, you don't gotta downvote it. It's like,
Right.
okay. I was like, I mean, it's kind of what the upvote downvote system is for. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, but yeah. You know what? I fuck it. Yeah. So you're episode 91. You'll be coming out on, if I can do math here. Yeah, you'll be coming out on the 9th because I'm fiddling with Lindsay's episode right now, and yeah, dude. I don't know. Just a lot of you were the next in line. So fuck it. Cool.
Nice.
I'd rather
Yeah.
have it. So, no gaming news this week for all of you listening. I'm just, yeah, I don't know if I'm doing an intro, so we'll see what happens. No gaming news this week. There's literally nothing. I think I covered it earlier with you, Eric, where basically 2042 is a 2-day thing. I don't even care to talk about that. That's not in my repertoire right now. But you had something about Diablo 2 remaster?
Yeah. Diablo 2 Resurrected was console only for the longest time, 20 years ago or whatever, when it was originally released, and then they just updated all the graphics and added some new features and whatnot and released it for console. So that just came out.
Nice.
So
Is there anything that's special like about like because I know with those top down kind of third person viewer ones, is there anything like special about the top down stuff that really kind of draws you to it or
I just like the aesthetic. I mean, the whole world that they built with that, and especially with the like the character creation and customization and everything that they do, and yeah, just the world building, the creatures that you fight, and the music. I mean, everything about Diablo is just it's like a really big nostalgia trip for me. And so getting back into it after however long, 15 years or whatever since I probably played it last. It's a hell of a lot of fun, and playing with my brother, being able to play on console and everything. It's really neat. It's really cool. I love
what?
that game. It's a little troublesome because it's
Mhm.
Activision Blizzard again, and still with the whole lawsuit. But
Yeah.
I kind of figured like every developing team has issues. I mean, I don't think that there's any that are probably as egregious as Activision Blizzard, but I mean, like a lot of people jumped from Warzone to Apex with the when the lawsuit came out, and
Hmm.
Apex is published by EA, and EA is like one of the shittiest companies around, for dicking people, their employees, and their consumer and everything with the loot boxes and whatnot. So. I mean, no one's immune. Rockstar had the whole kerfuffle with Red Dead when that came out, where
Hmm.
they were like really overworking their people and
Hmm.
not paying them overtime and whatnot. So unfortunately, all the gaming companies have massive issues, and I mean the Activision Blizzard thing, it's like it was kind of a step too far. So I definitely understand the people that were stepping away from Warzone and taking a hard stance. But Diablo 2 is a game that I've I've loved, and so when it came out, I was like, you know what, the to hell with it. I'm buying the game that I love. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm feeling the hate. I guess I'll touch on it, but like a 2-day beta. If you didn't pre-order Battlefield 2042, you only get to play the beta for the 8th and the 9th. Not that there's anything wrong with the 8th or the 9th, because I think the 8th and the 9th are Saturday and Sunday. So you do get, like they kind of had that in mind. But like, I mean, I pre-ordered it when I was still working at my previous job, and so I get it downloaded on the 5th, and then I get to play it the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, but I'm still like 4 days, and then I have to wait like a month and a half to play it at like, what? Like, fucking
Yeah.
hate EA with a passion, man.
So the one thing I am looking forward to with EA is the return of NCAA football. I mean, that last one was 2014 that it came out, and so when that comes back, supposedly I think it's either next year or maybe 2023. But when that comes out, I will definitely be getting that.
Wait. They're bringing back NCAA?
They are, yes, they
Sh-
got the licensing shit worked out where they've actually agreed to like pay a stipend to college players so that to use their likeness and whatnot. And they made an agreement with like all the universities and everything. So yeah, they're bringing the shit back, man.
Shut the front fucking door.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
super
my
stoked for that.
god. Oh my god, I've been talking about that for fucking ever. I have been. Oh my god, I just. The NC. I. Oh.
Yeah, so I may talk a whole bunch of shit about EA, but I'll be like the first one in line for when that game comes about. They're like, yes, please take my money.
Oh my
Uh,
god. I don't know if you've listened to a lot of the earlier episodes, but like I shit on Madden all the time because I'm like NCAA back in the day, NCAA back in the day, NCAA back in the day had all this dope ass shit in it, and I'm like, you need to put that. Oh my god, how the fuck did I not know that? When was it announced?
I think, well, I mean, I've been kind of hounding the internet looking for because there's been rumors for a couple years that
Oh,
potentially that it's gonna be released again. And yeah, I guess the licensing just got worked out within this past like calendar year. So yeah. No,
that's
I
dope.
listened to the episode where you were talking about that, where like Madden, they only give you like certain
Yeah,
customization for the jerseys and the new cities that you can move to and
yeah,
whatever. And you were
exactly.
talking about NCAA where they had the thing where you could actually create your own logo and shit and go online and then download it and everything. That was super cool. It was really advanced for the time, you know.
I
It
fucking
was
I hate that. Just like like it's there's like four good jerseys, and like for a company as big as EA, with the talent that they can acquire, the talent that they can attract, like, dude, a dude in India made this fucking shirt for like not the shirt, but he made the logo for like $30. A dude in India for 30 American dollars made this. You're fucking EA. How do you
yeah.
not go, hey, maybe we should make some cool shit?
Right. Well, but I think maybe they had the design to do that where they're like, well, okay, we'll give you 5 freebies. And then if you want any more customization from that, you're gonna pay for it. And people were probably like, whoa. Did you not learn anything from like the Star Wars Battlefront thing, the loot box deal? Like, have you not learned anything? And they're like, okay, fine, we won't charge people, but then we'll just won't offer you anything. You know, so you just get the standard 4 or 5 or whatever.
Fuck
Yeah,
EA. God, I hate those bastards. Ugh. But they make like they do a really good job. Like they do flounder in a bunch of areas, but god damn can they make some sports games. Like they've really nailed it down. Except
for
for all
sure.
those funny glitches that I saw on YouTube.
Well, like even Dice, you know, with
Yeah.
Battlefield and with the Star Wars Battlefront games. I mean, they're hella fun games. I mean, you can't knock them for that. It's just all
No.
the other, you know, accoutrement that goes with EA and who they are as a company and how they treat their people and whatever. And that's what I mean. It's like the Activision Blizzard thing, like the harassment. It's like, yeah, it's absolutely a problem that needs to be addressed, and not only for that company, but in the culture of gaming as a whole. But it's like no company is immune from just having bullshit like that. So it's either like if you want to take the hardline approach and say, I'm not going to play any games, then maybe that makes a difference if enough people do that.
Yeah.
But enough people don't do that, and enough people are still playing those games and paying those companies money that they don't feel the need to have a culture change. So it's really unfortunate.
I know you're not supposed to pre-order, and I know that's like a huge no-no, but I pre-ordered. I didn't care. It's Battlefield. I love it. I do like how I've been noticing the trend that a lot of the pre-orders that people do, like pre-orders are just like, here's a cool little thing for pre-ordering, like a small little thank you, instead of like,
Yeah,
oh, you get this, and this. It's like, here, have just like a whole bunch of great shit for pre-ordering. Where I was like, that. I mean, like I get why they really want you to pre-order, but I kind of like how games are going away from that. Like, here's a small little token thank you for saying, like here's a small little thing that you get, like with Far Cry 6 there, you get a CD shooter, like it's a gun that shoots CDs, and then
okay.
Basically, there's this little dachshund hound that you get, and like he's decked out like a Crip. Like he's got like Crip, like he's the blue that Crips have, you know. He's got
Yeah,
the blue scarf, and then his little wheelchair the doggy wheelchair that he's in is really blue. But like, yeah, no, it's cool. Like I'm glad that they're really going away from that loot boxy kind of stuff. I mean, it's still there ish with like the
yeah.
Madden Ultimate, but like I gotcha. I
Sure.
gotcha.
Yeah, EA with all like every single one of EA's games has that, like Ultimate Team. FIFA's the same way where they've got, where it's pretty much pay to win. You get a certain amount of like free packs or free cards or whatever to start building your team. And you can go so far, but then yeah, really to get good and certainly if you want to be like one of the top players and compete with anybody else, you got to spend real world money. And that's just like, I've already spent 60-ish dollars for the
Yeah.
new generation game. Like, why do I want to spend another 20, 30, 40, 50, insert dollar value here just to be competitive with playing another mode of the game? It's like, it's just shit, man.
That's why in the Madden 20, like if I do the Madden Ultimate Team, what I'll do is I'll just do a fantasy draft.
Yeah,
I'm like I'm gonna be the Cleveland Browns, and I'm gonna get the first couple of picks. There you go, fantasy draft. I'm golden.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. So I really wanted to get in this because I was interested. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually share my screen with you like I was doing earlier, the
Okay.
generic PIP monitor. So yeah, can you see the animated times? The Wanda and Doctor Strange
Yeah.
there. Yeah, so I didn't read. I'm gonna preface this with I didn't read the article here. This is Marvel stuff.
Mhm.
According to a wild theory, Wanda is posing as Doctor Strange in the Spider-Man No Way Home. I didn't. My buddy
Hmm.
Alex, who is my resident expert, just basically responded with one word. It was no. So
So that shoots that down. No, I've heard some of the stuff where you've had him on, and yeah, he is really incredibly knowledgeable. So I mean, I guess if anybody knows, like that has the inside track on whatever, or has a really good insight, it would
mhm.
be him. So if he says there's no salt to it, then I tend to believe it.
I mean,
But
I'm gonna believe a lot of what he says, but like, I like these little theories. You know what I mean? Like, this shit's cool. Like, have you been watching? I'm sure you've been watching the What Ifs.
I haven't yet. No, I've actually been waiting for it. Kind of like what I've done with all of the Marvel series. I wait for it to complete its run, and then I just binge the shit out of them. We did it with Wanda. We did it with Falcon and Winter Soldier. We did it with Loki. So yeah, we're kind of doing it with What If as well. So
How do you avoid spoilers?
it's difficult. It
Yeah.
really is. Yeah, it's super hard to do that, but yeah, some things get spoiled, and it just like you have to take it for what it is. I mean, in the nature of the world today, you're going to hear some things that you don't want to hear. So that's like I'm not like really that bothered by spoilers. I mean, if it's something incredibly major, then yeah, maybe I'll be a little salty about it. But for the most part, it comes with the territory of being a fan of such a huge property like that. People are going to talk about it because
Yeah.
it's a well-loved property. So you're going to hear some things. So either stay completely off social media and out of the world, or you have to know that you're going to kind of get peppered with some stuff. So yeah, whatever.
I like it because I have access to Disney Plus through my giant ass TV, which is what you're looking at right now, my big old screen. But like, it's great because a buddy of mine, I purchased Disney Plus legally, and so like it's great because like as soon as it drops, like I'll wake up a little early on Wednesday, and then I'll pop in and watch it right before work, and it's really kind of nice because my buddy Alex, he's always like, "Hey man, did you watch it?" And it's like, "Yeah, I watched it." Like, all right, let's have that half-hour conversation that we normally have. It's a lovely conversation. I love talking about it with him, but like he's really good about that stuff, and it like the wild theories that we talk about, I'm like, hey man, what about this? He's just like, no, not even close. It's like, well, I would appreciate it if it did happen. you
Yeah.
know so oh man. The other thing I wanted to show you here, what was it? Oh fuck, okay, yeah, that's Alex that I talked to. Scarlett Johansson and Disney settled. Did you
Oh,
hear about?
really?
Yeah,
I did not know. I didn't know that.
yeah, it
Know
came
that.
out. It came out like 20. I think it was like 20 hours ago or something like that. They settled.
No kidding.
Um, Yeah, where is it at here? Boop, boop, boop. I know I was looking at it on my phone. This is why I love Reddit so much. I just love it. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson and Disney come to terms over a lawsuit 21 hours ago. Yeah, it's been closed, but they're not disclosing anything. This is a quote from her. I'm happy to have resolved our differences with Disney. I'm incredibly proud of the hard work we've done together over the past years. And then she just kind of strokes Disney's ego for a couple more seconds. So, I
Well,
mean,
I'm kind of torn with that because I mean, yeah, ScarJo's a great actor, and I mean she's like perfectly cast as Black Widow, and I don't know what if they have any need to bring her back in any capacity in that role, but I mean it'd be nice if they did. But on the one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, you're absolutely in your right for being pissed off or how they handled the situation, but I hope that the lawsuit was more about a principle thing than really the money thing, because how much fucking money do you need? Like she doesn't have enough for multiple lifetimes, really? Like, I mean, don't make it about the money, because she's like, oh, how much money I'm missing out on. It's like, oh, you're only gonna get 40 million as opposed to 60 million? Boo-hoo.
ah,
Yeah,
I can make
but what I
40. I can make 40 million. I mean, I could blow 40 million pretty quick, but like I could blow about 1 million and then put 39 in savings or whatever. So
Sure,
but
absolutely. And then, but then the flip side is of it too. If anyone's got the cash that shouldn't done someone dirty like that, it's Disney. I mean, look how many freaking properties they have now. Like they've got Marvel, they've got Star Wars, they've got Pixar, they've got more than enough money that they didn't have to, screw over like that. So I'm glad that they got it sorted out.
I have a feeling it was more about the principle.
I hope so.
I think it did. I think the money aspect did get her a little upsetty spaghetti, because I mean, I think the way that the contract was negotiated was that she gets a certain percentage of the theatrical release, and
Right.
then and that's the way it was structured. And then all of a sudden, after everything was all said and done, they were like, "Hey, we're going to release it on Disney Plus." And then you're also in a pandemic, so I mean, think about that. How like I think it was more or less the principle of the matter, because
Yeah.
people are gonna go out and fucking see Marvel. That's what it like. Alex rented out he's rented out a theater a couple of times now to go see well. He's very worried about he's like me. He's very very worried about the coronavirus, and like I have athletic induced asthma, and if I have any of the like if anything is true about COVID and it fucks with your respiratory system, like dude, I work out now. I had a buddy of mine who had it, and he's like, I could barely walk down my stairs without breathing heavy, and I was like, yeah, I don't need that in my life.
Yeah,
So
for
like,
sure.
and it's really, dude, it's fucking dope. It's like $150, and you get 10 of your close friends to go with you. It's only $15 to go to a theater, and to have a whole theater to yourself.
Yeah, that's a baller move though. That's really
Yeah.
that's sweet, man.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're a rock star, that you got all that pull, that you're just like, this theater is mine for the next 2.5 hours. That's pretty sweet.
We saw Shang-Chi in the mega theater in the state that in the little state that we live in. They're like, and we're like, oh, are we in the tiny little theater? And they're like, no, you're in the megaplex. And it's like, what?
Sweet.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
but like I think it was that principle where Disney said, "Hey, this is your contract. This is what the contract is supposed to be," and then at the last second they changed it. I mean, I get it if it was COVID and they were like, "Hey, ScarJo, let's restructure it," but I think it was the fact that they're just like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this thing in defiance of the contract."
Right. Yeah, and not talk to her about it. I mean, I have a feeling that if they would have said something about it, like, look, considering the circumstances, the situation being what it is, would you mind if we, try to maximize our availability by also getting it out on this other platform? We can, if they would have, stepped up
Restructured.
to the plate and just restructured it, yeah, taken it upon themselves, they could have avoided all this unpleasantness. But yeah, I mean, I definitely understood where she was coming from for sure, and I was certainly, on her side. But then there's, like I said, there's only so far that you can go with being on her side. Like, oh, boo-hoo, the multimillionaire already only gets another, $40 million. How sad for you. So,
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, it's like I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, no, like, um, I just I don't know. I'm not sure like how like feel a little bad because this was her contract technically, yes. But I'm like, oh, you only get $20 million. That's sad.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like- I would love $1 million. That would solve a lot of problems right meow.
For sure. Yeah, and again, not to, disparage her. I mean, she's incredibly great, and she's been a really good ambassador not only for the brand but also for her character, and and bringing a lot of women in it, and people that girls that weren't necessarily maybe interested in superhero movies or whatever. She, as Black Widow, she kind of ushered in a new, complete layer of fandom that I think Marvel has to appreciate. And same thing with Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. I mean, that was a obviously that's seeing my background, you know how I feel about that. But um, yeah, it's Marvel has them to thank, and so they should be kind of like kissing their ass and bending over backwards, giving them whatever they want. So
Yeah, I mean, dude, when somebody, what was it like? James Gunn made Guardians of the Galaxy. Like it was just like he he knocked it over the Green Monster. Just
yeah,
not many people can put it over that Green Monster. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, baseball reference there. But like when you do that, you're like, no, 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 come on, come on. We got a series you're gonna complete. Come here, bud. So I
yeah,
don't know.
because his was what they got rid of him because he had a tweet from like 10 years ago or something that was insensitive or some shit, and
It's
then
so dumb.
so like everybody, I think, kind of rallied to his behalf and then said that they're not going to be a part of it unless he was brought back, and then they brought him
Yeah.
back. So, well, he's one kind of like Taika Waititi that's been able to kind of flip between worlds, like between properties. Normally, it's kind of like no bueno. Like if you're DC, you can't ever touch Marvel and vice versa. But yeah, Taika Waititi has been he was in Green Lantern, which I just saw, and he's done some other DC stuff, and he's also obviously. Um, voiced Korg in a bunch of the movies and directed some of the Thor movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then James Gunn has done the same with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then just did the Suicide Squad. So, yeah,
I didn't realize Tika Waititi was Korg for a little while. I had no idea he was Korg. I just like the dude is all over. I just it's weird. Like when you're watching one thing, you're like, how do I know that guy? And then
yeah,
you're like, oh shit, I really like this dude. Yeah, Tika
yeah.
Waititi is amazing.
He's super cool. So one of the things that we're doing in our this season of our show, which we're focusing on music, but we didn't want to completely abandon like the whole movie thing. So we're doing this thing called Side Splitters, where each of us take a movie where we pick one of like the people that plays like a side character, and then in the next movie related episode that we do, that person's going to be a main character.
Hmm.
So my brother Dylan, actually, his choice was Green Lantern, which has Taika Waititi in it, and so that was his character that he's going to roll with for the next one. I'm guessing his next pick is going to be What We Do in the Shadows because Taika Waititi typically is, unfortunately, kind of like marginalized to like the side character role. So I think What We Do in the Shadows is one of the only ones that he has like a major starring role in. So,
Just for the people who are listening who may not have listened before, what's your podcast?
oh, File Under Entertainment podcast with Dylan and Eric.
There we go. Pimp that out as often as you would like, sir. Um, who's that guy? There's like one. I had an actor who is very typecast like that. Like they just that. Who is that? They're always the side guy. Like that's just what they are.
A lot of people,
I
unfortunately, I
know.
don't know. Um, what like roles or what movies are you thinking of specifically?
It was just a blip. It was just that little just like remember, and then it's like yeah no, don't know. Fuck that sucked. But
It'll come to you
yeah.
later. We'll be like knee deep in something else, and then it'll hit. Or
So
maybe it'll be like 3 in the morning, and you'll be
oh
like, "Fuck,
god.
that's who it
I
was."
I really hope it doesn't come around 3 in the morning. I hope to be asleep at 3 in the morning. Okay,
Fair.
so we're gonna jump right into Ask Reddit because it was a perfect segue. The first thing on the Reddit because I have like what 15 tabs open, and
At least.
that's like half of what I found on Reddit. Just FYI.
Sweet.
So the first question I wanted to ask you is, what would be the first purchase if you came into serious fuck you money? Like it doesn't have to be just like, oh, I'd buy a fucking Lambo. Like it could be like a kind of little blanket statement.
Yeah. So okay, honestly, uh, since I'm a little spiteful and a little like salty with my job, I was telling you earlier that
Hmm.
my week has been a little hellacious. Actually, this entire year. Well, to take a step back, since I got the position that I'm in, which was in January of 2020, like before really the pandemic really
Oh,
even
that's like
hit
right on the
off.
precipice.
Yeah, exactly. Since then, it's just been a freaking chaotic whirlwind. And so I think like serious fuck you money when I think about that for like spite purposes. I think that I would just buy my company and then fire everybody that I hated, you know, everyone that ever like did me dirty with in any kind of respect, and just be like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. There's the walking papers, you know. Yeah.
Dude, that's terrible. But that like no, that's great. Yeah, I feel you on that. It's nice.
What
I
about you? What'd you
uh
do?
so like um it's a little bit more wholesome. I know like I'm gonna go the
Why?
whole I'm gonna go the wholesome route, but like because I live in a trailer like that was built in like the 60s or 70s or some shit like that. And my park is like offered to let me buy out the two half trailers and I can rent it out. So the a couple my two neighbors kind of been having some issues with their trailers. So what I thought would be really kind of cool is that like I'd buy my trailer out and then basically I just hired like some contractors, just be like, okay, you need to show up to this address, this address, or this address. Anything that needs to be done, take care of it. And then I would. This is the one thing that I would really appreciate to do. I'd have my neighbors like I'd tell them some stupid shit, be like, hey, you got to park your cars together. And the next day, go out with a sledgehammer and just start beating on their cars and see whoever comes out first, and be like, oh, yeah, pick one of those cars that's lined up over there. Whichever one is yours. I just wanted to have fun with your car. Like that. That's kind of what I would
That's
do.
awesome. So, well, I mean, that's kind of that's both. That's not only wholesome, but it's
Yeah.
also still like kind of like because they don't know in the immediacy
Yeah.
of it that you've done something generous for them. They just come out and think that you're beating the shit out of their car with a sledgehammer. And they're like, "What is Jared doing? What did I do to him?"
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty great.
I thought that would be really cool because yeah, like my buddy who lives right next to me, he's a freelance. He's basically freelance handyman is what it is, and like he's trying to finish up his trailer that just like the dude that sold it to him fucked him hardcore on it, and he's really trying to like fix it up as well as do all of his freelance work. And I'm just like I feel so bad for him because like every time he finds something else, I'm like, hey man, how's it going, Garrett? And he's like, oh, I found this week, and I'm like, well, shit, that sucks.
Yeah, that's
So
terrible. I mean, I do have a wholesome answer as well, if you want me to say it.
yes, let's hear
I,
the wholesome answer.
Okay. So one thing that has always been in my mind, like if I ever won the lottery, if I ever won, like life-changing money like that, that it was something that I'm really passionate about, like animal welfare, and I love animals. And obviously, also the homeless population is a big problem in the United States. So it would actually be twofold. I would open like an animal sanctuary where it's like would be a no-kill shelter where animals will be taken care of and where they never have to worry about, being warm or having food for the rest of their lives. And it would be staffed by homeless people. You give them, a job and, food and shelter for themselves and uh, be able to, contribute to society by caring for the animals. So it kind of would be twofold. And it's been kicking around in my head for like, yeah, what would I do if what would be like my passion project if I didn't have to, work full time? And so that's my wholesome answer is to take care of animals and the, less fortunate.
I because I used to so when I worked at the cheese factory, I when I would be on Boxer was the machine where basically I take a liner, put it on cheese, push it into a machine, and I do that for 7 hours a day. I just put a liner over the cheese and send it through the machine. On days there would be days where I would just think about this cool thing, and I had something very similar to yours. Like I would go downtown, ask for like a building permit, and just build like a 10 or 12 story, like big ass hotel that would be like a homeless hotel where the rooms are a little bit smaller or what have you, and like basically it'd just be like, all right, cool, like because in Wisconsin and you're out of Illinois if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like winters are just devastating here, and like what are the like it's not Florida where the homeless can just be like, oh, it's 70 degrees in the middle of the night in December, they're
Right.
fine. So like it's like build this giant ass place, give them a place to stay, and then like one of the cool things that I would do with that fuck you money is I'd build a giant ass dome for my parrots to live in and rescue parrots, because I've seen some of the fucking sanctuaries around here in Wisconsin, dude. It's just
Hmm.
people's houses filled with birds, and it's
Yeah,
it's like it's
that's so
crazy.
good.
Yeah.
It's not certainly not a good, situation for the birds to be in, but
No.
also, like they can't be good for the people either. So,
No. Yeah, I mean, when I adopted one of my cakes, where I should say my cake Harley, who was like 25, like he was in this tiny little cage and like just in this house that was legitimately full of fucking birds, and I'm just like, I was like, how do you live here, lady? She's like, I barely do, and I was like,
yeah, I feel for
yeah,
those people because you see that a lot, like the hoarders, and in their heart of hearts, they think that they're doing the right thing because they kind of have the same mindset like that we do. They don't want to see an animal out on the streets or scared or homeless or at risk of dying or being abused or whatever. So they think that they're doing the right thing by keeping it like in their house, but then that's not a good condition for the animal
no,
either. So it's like. Yeah, that's why it would really be like a passion project to have like a huge, sanctuary area where every animal had their own like spot and
yeah,
they didn't have to worry about, you had enough money backing it, in terms of like, the fuck you money that we're talking about, where you never had to worry about, paying your people or to get good people on staff, and you never had to worry about euthanasia or running out of food or anything like
yeah.
that. That's
I mean the shelter, because where I got Helios, my sun conure, in the shelter in Milwaukee was basically just this giant open room that had bigger cages for the birds. It was a much better environment than the tiny house, that was basically just filled with the cages. But like they're doing the same thing. Like it's just one person was able to get that big open room where they could do it a little bit better versus the lady who's like, well, they have a need for it, and I'm the best that they have in the place, and
sure.
it's just like I was like, oh yeah, it sucks
Yeah.
so much, man. Ugh.
For sure. I'm kind of like I'm on my first step of that right now because the house that we live in, my cat basically has his own room. He, he's got like his cat furniture in there, and that's where he eats, and that's where his litter box is, and yeah, that's where he plays with a lot of his toys. And when the dogs want to go back there, he always gets really excited and runs in there to kind of like show off to the dogs. Like he legitimately thinks that that's his room. So I
That's
think that's
adorable.
that's kind of I'm on the first step to that sanctuary already. And then the dogs, aside from coming downstairs in the finished area of the basement where I'm doing this, the rest of that it's this nice full length of the house kind of thing where they can actually run and play, and so they think that this area is theirs. So
Well,
I mean that's that's basically my house is for the animals.
well, it's Ghost and Blue, if I remember right. Right, Ghost and
Yep.
Blue,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
they're the Irish Wolfhounds.
Yes.
Yeah, they're a big ass breed. If anybody knows about an Irish Wolfhound, they're big dogs, gorgeous,
They're
but they're
gigantic.
big.
They we'd always had just had like rescue mutts before, and my wife has always wanted giant breed dog, and yeah, I kind of got suckered into getting this. Like, did I sell the story? I don't know if I told the story the first time that I was on.
Nope, but you're gonna tell it now.
Okay, so yeah, we talked about being ready to have another dog, and we've got the cat, that I said, and so my wife was like, "Well, I think a girl dog would get along better with the cat, don't you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's okay. Let's do that. We'll settle on the girl." And she's like, "Okay, and the boy." And I was like, "Well, wait, what?" Like she's like, "Well, I was always getting the boy. I was just gonna get the girl now for your benefit and for the cat." I'm like, "How does that work? I don't understand." But yeah, I would. So we ended up getting two puppies at the same time. The litter was 11 pups, nine boys and two girls, and so we got, obviously one of the two girls and then one of the boys. And I it was certainly a handful, not ever having giant breed dogs before and then having two of them at once, both going through puppydom. My God. Yeah, we thought that we had a big place until we got these guys, and now it's like every room looks tiny. But obviously, I couldn't imagine, not having both of them. They're our children. We can't have real kids of our own, so these animals are our children. So
I feel you. That's what those two idiots are. That's exactly what those two idiots are. Not your dogs, my birds. I should clarify. I'm talking
right,
about my
yeah,
parrots. But yeah,
no, my dogs are idiots too.
but like if you could like literally just pan like maybe 15 degrees, you'll see the edge of my of their cage. Like this is not my workstation. They sit next to me all day, and they fucking love it. And it's so weird because like I can only move my apartment around in so many different fashions because of their living space. Like
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I got a big enough place for parrots, and I'm like, no, I don't. Like I have some of the smallest parrots around, and I still don't have a big enough place. But then again, I'm the kind of guy where if you're like, hey, it's recommended that you have a 30 by 30 place for your parrots, I'm gonna have a 120 by 120.
Sure.
That's the kind of guy I am. Like I remember when my ex girlfriend brought her parrot by the name of Cricket over, who taught me how to love feathered friends and how dangerous they can be.
Yeah.
It was funny because like they had this cage, and the cage was okay, and I found this big African gray cage for a Senegal parrot who's about the size of your smartphone, and
Mhm.
everyone knows how big an African gray is. So like she's like, oh my god, I can't believe you got a huge cage. I was like, I wanted a bigger cage, but this is the best I could get in my apartment.
Yeah.
So I feel you on the you think it's big enough, but no, it's not. No,
Sure.
it's
And
not.
everyone's like floored at their size. That's especially for my wife and I, we're kind of like, I know it doesn't appear like it now because you and I get along so well, but
Yeah.
I mean, we're definitely introverts. Uh, and so these dogs were certainly not the right type of dogs to get as introverted people because I like to take them to the dog park. And so, like, everybody always wants to have conversations about the dogs. And I feel like having like a neon sign that always like Irish Wolfhounds, he's 160 pounds and she's 150. I feel like I should always have it like, because that's the questions I always get is, oh, what kind of dogs are they? And how much do they weigh and this and that. And so it's like, it's a great conversation starter, but you have to actually want to have conversations with random people. So
Hey, I tomorrow it's supposed to be like 74, 75 outside. Helios is 21, I think. I don't know. I lost his paper in a fire. I've told many people that. But basically, my van burned up and blew up, and then I lost all his paperwork in the fire. So I don't know exactly how old he is,
mhm.
but I know he's around that age. But it's funny because like the same thing happens. Like he likes to go outside. He really does like to venture off, and I try to pick up women doing it. I'm not gonna lie, but like I'll take him
No,
out.
no shame in that.
Yeah, no shame in that. And people are like, "Oh, what?" I get asked three questions: What is he? Why doesn't he fly off? And how old is he? And then I'm like, he doesn't want to fly off. He is a sun conure, and he's 21. And then it always is followed by, "Oh my God, really? He's 21?" It's like, yeah, he can live for another 10 years easily. And they're like, "Oh," and then it's amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's three questions, and then there's that fourth follow up that happens every single time I go out with them.
Did I tell you? I don't remember if we had this same conversation the first time I was on. Did I tell you about the lady that asked if her daughter could ride the dogs? Did I tell you that story?
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so I had kind of a similar day like I had today, where I was telling you it was like kind of hellacious. So I had a hellacious day at work, and normally I come home and I let the dogs out, they do their business or whatever, and then I can get changed and I'll take them for a walk, typically just like around the block or whatever. Well, we've got a park that's a little ways down the street where it's just like a baseball diamond and like a huge like open grass area. Well, they were like really ready to go as soon as I got home. So they didn't even want to wait. So I couldn't even change like out of my work clothes. So I'm still
Ah,
in my work clothes, right? So it's just khakis and this maroon like polo, which will come into play later. So I take him, I walk him down, and they do their business, and there's this gray or silver van sitting in the parking lot, but I didn't see anybody in it, and I didn't see anybody in the park. So I'm like, okay, that's weird, but whatever. There's nobody here, so I'll let him off leash. So I let him off, and they're running around for 5-10 minutes, something like that. And they do their thing, and then they come back, and I get them on leash, and I'm walking them back up, and so now I'm by the parking lot area, and out of the van comes this woman. I'm guessing 30-ish, 40s-ish. I'm not sure. And she's got this little girl with her, which I'm guessing is like she was probably like 4, maybe 5 tops, right?
Yeah.
I'm not really good at like guessing kids' ages, but she was like a younger child.
Yeah.
And it started out the same kind of thing. The lady's like, "Oh my God, your dogs are so beautiful. What are they? Blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, they're Irish Wolfhounds. Yeah, they're brother sister. Blah blah blah." And then she's like, "My daughter wants to know if she could ride them." And I always have heard kind of like the jokes before, like, "Oh, the dogs are so big you can put a saddle on and blah blah blah. They double as ponies or horses and yada yada yada."
Yeah.
I've heard it all before, so I kind of like chuckled, and I look at like the eagerness and sincerity on her face, and she's being sincere. She's legitimately asking me if her daughter can ride this dog, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, they're dogs, they're not ponies, their backs aren't strong enough to do that. And then she's like, yo, oh, it'll be fine. And I'm like, no, sorry, no. And the kid goes into like instant meltdown mode. And this kid is
Ah.
like shrieking, like screaming, crying, bawling. And then the dogs, they don't have any interaction with kids like this, so they don't know what the hell is going on. So they're getting all antsy. And I got like a 300-pound worth of dog that's like pulling me in every direction because they're like freaked the fuck out, right? And this lady is like, looks at me and she's like, now look what you did. I'm like, look what I did. It's like, lady, you're the psychopath that's like telling your child that she can ride dogs. Like, who does that? So, but yeah, again, so I'm just like trying to diffuse the situation, not get any more worked up because I'm already pissed off from work. And now the dogs are freaking out. So I'm just trying to get out of that situation. So I'm like walking with the dogs, and she's still jibber jabbering. She's, oh, I can't believe this has happened. I can't believe that you're like this. I thought your kind were supposed to be nicer.
Wait, you're kind?
Exactly. And I'm like, and that just kind of stopped me in my tracks. And I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, it's like, okay, and it's like, I'm white, like I'm as pale as can be. Like I don't think there's any like
Ma'am, I came out of the basement for my weekly sunning. What more do you want?
so I'm like, I don't think that there's any mistaking me for like a member of any kind of other race, and she's white also, and so I'm like thinking like, what is she talking about? But then like so then I was just like, I kind of just shake my head and walk away as she's still like blah 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 in the background. But then I'm like halfway home in the walk, and I'm thinking like, still floored by it. Like, does she think that I'm gay? Like I don't. It's
What?
like because I had 2 dogs and I was by myself and I didn't have a woman with me, or is it because I'm wearing a maroon shirt? Like I didn't know what else. Like I don't know. My personal opinion, I don't think that there's anything wrong with being gay, so I wouldn't have been offended by it even if I was, but I was like, why would she think that I was? I don't know. I'm still kind of like jaw dropped about that one. I have no idea what she meant to this day, but it's like, yeah, it's a nice little fun story that I can tell. Like some woman earnestly asked me if her fucking child can ride my dogs.
But how does the maroon shirt come into play?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, is maroon? And that's what I was thinking. Like, is maroon code for something? Is because I'm wearing maroon that she thinks that I'm, gay or something? I don't know.
All right.
I
All
I have
right. I mean, I get,
no
yeah.
clue. No idea. Still shocked by that one. But yeah, whatever.
I
Sorry, not to
No, no,
derail,
I'm just like,
with the stupid
because you're
ass
like,
story.
you're like the maroon shirt comes into play, and I'm like, I'm thinking of like, how's the maroon shirt gonna come into play? And then it climaxes, and it's like it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's a happy ending, but it's not really a happy
Yeah.
ending.
So like in the immediacy after it happened, like I got home and like still wearing that same outfit. I was like, I don't even know how to process this. So I hopped on and I actually I posted a TikTok video about it, and I actually got like a comment. He's like, so I'm gay, and so I can comment like we would never wear maroon. So no, that's not it.
Oh
It's
my god.
like, okay, thank you for commenting.
Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
like, well, like, cause Irish Wolfhounds, they're like greyhounds, right? They're very skinny dogs, right?
No, they're big, beefy. Well, I mean, like you saw, if you could look at
Yeah,
my Reddit post, I don't know if you can, just tell from the photographs
yeah.
how big they are, but they've got, I mean, just really big, tall legs, but they've got, him especially, he's got a big, beefy chest. So he's a big boy. But if anything, they're undersized. So we got him from a breeder, obviously, and the breeder was telling us like, try to wait until they're like 18 months before you get them fixed, so that like they have some like growth plates or something like,
Mm-hmm.
and but then take him to the vets for checkups and whatever. They're like, yeah, they're not gonna care that they're brother sister. Like once she goes through a heat cycle, they're absolutely gonna try to mate. Like so, you
Oh,
might want to get that addressed. And we're like, okay, well, when is that? And they're like, well, she'll probably go through the first heat cycle within like 9 to 11 months. And so we're like, okay, so we got him fixed at like 10 months. So pretty far ahead of schedule.
yeah.
Um, so I don't know what that did in terms of like their development, but I mean they're enormous. But if anything, like if we were to see them around another Irish Wolfhound, they're probably undersized.
Okay.
So which is pretty appalling because they're like leaps and bounds over every other single dog that we come in
Yeah.
contact. Like we see a lot of Great Danes. They're actually friends with. They play with some Great Danes that we encounter at the dog park, and they're bigger than they are. So
That's adorable.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, because like I know greyhounds are very sleek, and I think I've seen some like because I'm trying to imagine like a 4-year-old girl, unless she's just like a little marshmallow girl. I
so that's the thing. So I like McCookies. Okay, so I've got a little gut. I'm certainly not a svelte man by any stretch, but so I'm not one to like fat shame
yeah,
anybody. But in and it's a child, so it's
yeah.
certainly not a child. It's the more the parents' fault than hers. But she'd even try to say something like, "Oh, my kid's only like 30 pounds or something." I'm like, "My fucking ass, she is." That kid was probably like a buck 20, if anything. So,
Okay, yeah,
uh,
I was about because I know that like some for like if I'm horrible when it comes to like aging women, especially aging women. Dudes, I'm kind of okay with, but like girls, I'll be like you're 25, aren't you? They're like I'm 16. It's like oh okay, way off. But like a
yeah,
little girl's maybe like 30, 40 pounds because like my cousin's got a kid and she's a little chunky, but like, I mean, like, yeah, I'd put her on the back of like a 150-pound animal. I wouldn't have any problems with that. But like,
this,
yeah, if you're about the
this kid
same
was like,
size,
this kid was morbidly obese, and then
okay,
this lady tries to tell me that she's like 40 pounds, and I'm like, maybe her fucking thumb, like like this. No, don't give
okay,
me that.
yeah,
Like there's no way in hell. And anyway, that's not the point. Like this is not a pony. This is a dog. Like,
dude,
oh God.
my dad got a Saint Bernard with a chocolate lab or a black lab that we had, and Tabby was a beast of a fucking dog, just thunderous, and like Like she broke multiple glass panes with her tail on an entertainment center.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was funny because my
Wow.
dad, she was wagging her tail, and I watched it just broke, and I'm like, Tabby, you're a fat ass, you know. And then my dad just stopped replacing it after a while because she kept breaking them. But
Right?
like, but my feeling is like, I mean, like Tabby could definitely haul a pretty decent sized child. You know, like you see those photos of the very morbidly obese individuals get on the backs of horses, and you're like,
Yeah.
look, I know horses love to fucking work. Like they have a drive like nobody's business. They will go until they die. But like, I don't want to challenge an animal. You know, like
Yeah, exactly.
I totally get that, man. Yeah, because that was my next question. Was like, well, why wouldn't you let a little 4-year-old, like 20, 30 pounds? Like, yeah, okay, let her, you know. But no, yeah, little fucking
No.
marshmallow girl. No, no. Yeah, I got you, man. I have something kind of sort of similar to that. Helios will bite the fuck out of you. Like he hates everybody who's not me. And my mom came over to my apartment the other day to drop some stuff off, and I was like, "Hey, mom, rule number one: don't go near the cage. Put me and you in between the cage." And she was looking at something over by a window. And I was like, "Mom, back up, back up, back up!" And of course, Helios lunged and went for her, and
Oh
almost
no.
and almost took
Holy
off her
shit.
ear, man. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it's funny because people be like, "Oh, can I hold him?" I was like, "If you like getting bit," and they're like, "Oh, it's not that bad." I was like, "Oh, it's pretty fucking bad." Yeah, like it's funny. A lot of people are like, "Oh, getting bit by those guys aren't so bad." I was like, "All right, you get bit. See how you
Yeah.
feel." You know. So I
Yeah.
feel you, man. I feel you.
Now these guys they don't have like so I guess originally they were bred like to hunt wolves and also
Yeah.
to like pull people off of horses during war. And I'm like, I don't see that at all because they're lazy as shit. And they don't have like an aggressive bone in their body. Like so they're sight hounds. So
Hmm.
like if they see like a, raccoon or squirrel or something in the backyard, they'll fully like chase after it, but not with any intent to like kill it. They just want to be friends with it.
Oh.
They want to catch it so that they can be like, "Oh, you want to see my toys?" They are not aggressive at all, but they will come down here and they'll wrestle with each other and so as big as they are, like one of their favorite things to do, him especially, is like when they wrestle they want to be close to you, so they'll like wrestle on top of you essentially. And so I got like 300 pounds worth of dog like banging into me and I'm just like getting jostled all around, and every once in a while he'll just nip like play nip and he'll catch like the side of my hand. I'm like, fuck man, like if he wanted to chomp down he really could, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's not how they are.
Oh yeah. I'm losing little chunks of my tattoo because it's surprisingly warm, and I took my AC out of my apartment because I got one of those window AC units, and I took it out. So I've been wearing a lot of tank tops and t-shirts. Well, ever since I've been working from home, and like I said, like 15 degrees off, like you can see, like I'm touching their cage right now, and so Blue will like to fly over on me and hang out on my shoulder. He'll nibble on this, nibble on that. Well, he sees my tattoos and he starts to nibble on my little hairs, and then he's taking chunks out of my fucking tattoo, and it hurts. And then I've got the neck tattoo, and then he goes after that all the time, and the neck is so soft and fleshy, and
Oh yeah,
it hurts like a motherfucker.
that's
And
funny. I saw the video that you had when you were gaming, and he was on top of the monitor and
yeah,
everything. That was really super cute.
did you
That's
hear
awesome.
it? Did you hear the crunch it makes? Yeah, like it's funny because you can hear him crunch the monitor, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
tiny,
yeah. And then
tiny.
imagine that's flesh. You
Yeah,
wouldn't want that to be flesh. So
no, and
for sure.
like, and I swear to God, like he's gentle with me too. It's oh God, I hate him. So yeah, hence why I wear a lot of sweaters now. I got this 550 cord that it's kind of like a I don't know where I got it from, but it's like a little half necklace. I'll throw that on, and that usually distracts him long enough for me to chew him away. But yeah, like man, God, fuck
That's
that.
awesome. That's incredible.
Oh man. All right, so I guess we'll move on to the next Ask Reddit one. Enough of the animal
Yeah,
talk.
sorry,
No,
sorry. I didn't mean to.
no, you're
I know
fine.
that story was a long one and it kind of derailed us a little bit, so my apologies.
Dude, I love stories. I'll tell you to shut up if I don't want to hear anymore.
Fair
But yeah,
enough.
well, it's like I'm trying to lead in, and I'm trying to think like, what else do I have on here that could lead in? And it's like I don't have anything that leads into it. So I guess we're just
Still
gonna.
got a lot of tabs open up here, so I think we got our pick of the litter for what to talk about here for
What
sure.
conspiracy do you truly believe?
Ah,
Eh,
okay.
what conspiracy do you truly believe?
Oh, hmm.
Don't give me some bullshit answer, Eric.
No, there's a couple, and I told you I'm feeling in a weird mood, so I'm ready to let loose.
You
So
got
I
some white
don't.
claws in you, you basic little bitch.
Yeah, you know what? So don't sleep on the White Claws. Like I mean, I thought the same thing when my wife wanted to get White Claws. Is like that's not
you
it's
remember?
not
You
a
remember
manly
Zima?
drink or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Zima was a huge fucking hit. A lot of people knock it, man. And then one of the girls that I used to hook up with, she'd get white girl hammered with those white claws, and then she'd be like, "Hey, Jared," I'd be like, "Yeah, what's up, girl?" So, no,
Yeah. So they're pretty good. Like they're only 100 calories, for a lot of women like that because it's low carb, it's low calorie, it's got some good flavor, and it's only 5% alcohol by volume. So it's not an
not
obscene
bad.
amount,
Yeah.
but it's like it's more than, like a Miller Lite or Bud Light or whatever. But yeah, you throw a few of those back and you just get a nice little sense of calm. Like I'm Irish, so it takes a lot for me to get like drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like four White Claws in quick succession with yeah, yeah, I'm feeling
Well,
decent.
no, because I have this thing. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any drugs. Me and anything that can elicit some altered state of consciousness, like my body just hates everything. I swear to God. Like I tried marijuana and I just panic. I get paranoid. I legit get
Yeah,
paranoid. And then
that's fair.
I think I was offered a Valium one time and I just fuck my life. I was like I was supposed to go to work and I just didn't. They came to my room and they're like, "Jared, what's wrong?" And I was like, "I fucking who are you?" And they're
That's
like he's
hilarious.
done, he's gone. So like I have my vice is sparkling water. And it like when it comes to flavor and things, I like a good I don't need like a powerhouse punch of flavor.
Yeah,
Like if it can be a nice subtle note, but like have you ever had like a hint or a bubbler or something like that?
yeah,
Or like
mhm,
LaCroix? That's
yeah,
too staticky. A lot of people claim it as staticky. Like that's too staticky. Like I need a decent kind of a flavor, not like a meh, but like a huh.
So I think if you were to try like the try a tangerine White Claw
Okay.
because like one obviously isn't going to get you hammered, and
Yeah.
I fully understand, not wanting to drink or to get to that point where you feel like not in control. Fully understand that, but yeah, just try it to see like how it makes you feel and the flavor, just so because it's a seltzer water
Yeah.
essentially, and it's flavored and it just has alcohol and
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah, and I think tangerine is probably one of the better flavors. So yeah,
That's what my friend really liked is she was big on the tangerine and it's not that I don't like the state that I get into. It's just my stomach is dumb and I hate puking and it just
yeah, yeah.
the few times I've tried alcohol, like not only has it been disgusting to me, like I think what was I tried like a Bud Light or like I tried like a few different actual beers and I was just like, how do you fucking like this? And like it's an acquired taste. It was like if I have to acquire a taste for something, I don't think I want it.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it. I mean, I definitely I kind of feel that way about wine. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
I know, like wine is a huge thing. I know a lot of people just swear by
Ugh.
wine, and I can't get into it. Beer, yeah, it actually is. It's an acquired taste, but man, like for me, there's nothing better than Guinness. Like it's a little thicker, but it's just got that supreme flavor. Oh man,
Guinness and Yingling.
oh yeah.
Anybody I ever served in the military with, we went to Ireland. We got off the
Oh,
plane in
nice.
Ireland, and the commander was like, "No drinking," and there was a collective just groan, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Fine, you can
Ah.
have one Yingling, one," and like the plane was like, "Fuck yeah!" Because like I mean like is I think no wait is it Guinness that comes from Ireland or is it?
Guinness is,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
Guinness. My
yep.
apologies. Yeah, because like you're in Ireland. why
Yep.
not get it from the fucking source?
Oh, and that's the best stuff because the stuff that you have in like to get it on, so they have it now in bottles where they have like the little nitrogen pellet or whatever that's supposed to make it taste as if it's like on draft. It doesn't
Oh,
taste
that's
anywhere near
right.
that.
Yeah, yeah, the guy jingled the can and it was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's nowhere near. Like it's still decent in the bottles and the cans, but the way to really have it is on draft, and even that like pales in comparison because I too like from being in the military, I was over in Ireland and I had got to have a real draft Guinness from like the source, like the fresh stuff, and it's like, oh, it's leaps and bounds. It's like the nectar of the gods, dude. Like
Yeah.
there's no comparison to anyone that's ever had like a Guinness here on draft and loves it until you've had like an actual authentic Ireland Guinness. You haven't really had one.
Yeah, but I mean, what's because I know a lot of people had like keggers and shit like that back. I mean, even some grown adults have keggers, but
Yeah.
unless like you have a bar that you constantly use in your basement, I don't think having anything from a keg or a keg is on draft, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool. So I know a little bit. I grew up in a bar. I got some information. I know a little bit, but like that's the thing. Is like what where did like it's like renting out the theater. You really only kind of do it on special occasions. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me, I always, well, now that my wife and I have discovered the the virtue of White Claw, we're always pretty stocked with those. But I would always have beers in the fridge, just always to have them on hand. And there'd be times where I would go weeks, sometimes months, where I wouldn't have a beer at
Mm.
all. But
Yeah.
just the fact of having them there, knowing that they were there, if I had a really shit day, and that's enough. I don't like the feeling of being drunk and like out of control. Like getting to a nice, just calm, even buzzed state is pretty decent. But yeah, I hate actually drinking to get drunk. Like my sister, she will not drink unless she can get drunk. And I'm like, you're killing brain cells. You feel like shit the next day. Like, and a lot of times you end up puking,
Yeah.
which
That's
I'm
fine.
right there with you. Like, I cannot stand puking. So I'm like, I don't understand the thought process of just like, because she will just try immediately to get blottoed. She's like, if I just take like Crystal Light and vodka and fill like this much up with vodka and then just sprinkle the Crystal Light in and then down that, if I do like four of those, I'll be completely blottoed. I'm like, but why?
I
Like, I
I
don't understand that.
I love how everybody's got different terms for getting wasted. Wasted,
Yeah,
blitz, blottoed, riggedy, riggedy, wrecked, son. God, what else
yeah,
have I heard? Wasted. I love how every time I talk to somebody brand new, and we talk about like getting plastered beyond belief. Everyone's got a new term. It's so awesome.
yeah,
It's so
yeah.
great.
It is pretty cool.
Okay. Uh, com-
So we got off the rails again, and I'm sorry.
conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got talk on beer. Oh no, because I said that I had had a couple of White Claws,
And
and
I
so
called you
I'm
a
ready to go
basic
full blood.
bitch, and you had to counter it. So
That's fair. All right, so I've got two.
okay,
One, fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. Hopefully, I don't get canceled or people don't hate me. So, much like you were saying that you had an ex by virtue of being in the military. Same, and mine was also an intelligence specialist in the Navy. And she was very freaked out before September 11th happened, a few years before, um, saying that she didn't want to go to New York because an attack from Osama bin Laden on New York was imminent, and she was petrified. And they knew this, like in the intelligence community.
so you think this
So
was like Pearl Harbor?
I won't go as far as to say I do not believe that 9/11 was an inside job. Like I don't believe like the conspiracy theories about, like bombs being in the buildings or whatever.
Yeah.
I will go as far as to say they knew something was going to happen and they didn't stop it. And I think it firmly has a lot to do with the Patriot Act being passed. I think that they probably didn't know the extent of what was going to happen, but I think that they knew that something was because here, so part of that was buddy of mine that I mentioned in the last pod, Tommy, he was going to airframe and power plant school in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, obviously, not
Not New
a great
York.
deal.
Yeah.
Not New York, but not hell and gone from it. It's near enough on the Atlantic seaboard and whatnot. He was driving in to go to school one day, and this was September 9th, and there was four Black Hawk helicopters that just came up from under like the highway overpass as
Mm-hmm.
he's going to like the international airport where the schooling was. There's no military base there. There would be no ostensible reason for them to have been there.
Mm-hmm.
It just it seemed like it was a weird coincidence, especially what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
That there would be a military presence kind of in the area where it really wasn't normally and didn't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that just seemed kind of weird.
Well, like, because I know with Pearl Harbor, it was like the Japanese were going to attack Pearl Harbor, and we had that intelligence beforehand. But maybe it was our the Pride, maybe it was the like. Have you ever seen World War Z?
Yes.
Yeah, where the guys in was it Israel that he went to, where they talked
Yeah.
about the ninth man or whatever. Where if everyone believes there's no fucking way they're gonna do that, ninth man has to say no, this is gonna fucking happen. Maybe it was one of that mentality where the collective was all the intelligence says that they're going to do this, but we don't really think that they are going to do it because it's improbable or it's like are they really gonna fucking do that? You
Well,
know?
that's like I worried about saying anything because I mean I haven't had any interaction with her for
Years. Yeah.
years and years and years. But still, I don't know how involved she was. I think she was going to make a career out of it. So hopefully, like this doesn't get out into the ether and like screw something up with her. That she's divulging this stuff because I'll say hand on heart, she never divulged. She didn't go anything further than that. She never divulged any kind of trade secrets or whatever. That was as far as it went. Where that was the first time that I ever heard the name Osama bin Laden was her telling me that an attack on U.S. soil perpetrated by this man was imminent, and
Well,
they knew it.
I mean, when I was in a country where I technically didn't exist for 8 months, we were pretty much put on like 2 or 3 days before we double tapped Osama. We basically were like, hey, we're at I forget what the DEF CON's at, but we're like, hey, we're at this DEF CON, and we're all like, why? And they're like, HVT is basically about to be taken out. And like we were kind of in that because we were right next to a country that's very, very hostile. That was very, very hostile to the U.S. And we had an embassy that was over there that was almost evac kind of during that terminal time because of I think the assassination of Osama. But we were basically like it was just basically like expect some shit may go down, and
Yeah.
I mean there was maybe 20 or 30 of us, on shift at one time, and maybe a total of 40 of us to defend this very small 1 by 1 mile base inside of another base where we technically didn't exist. And we're like, well, I'm like, I really don't trust the host nation to really, put up much of a fight. But like,
Right.
you're like, okay, well, what's going on? So I mean, I could see why they might have like a little bit of extra information, but I mean, I don't believe that it happened. Where it's like we planted bombs and shit. But
Yeah. No.
I think it was maybe I like the way you talk about the Patriot Act, where you're like, no, like it was to push the Patriot Act because I mean, think of how many things we've actually stopped because of the Patriot Act, and if we couldn't technically do it, that's probably why we didn't know what was going to happen, but we knew something was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you.
Which could I don't I think I know kind of where you spin politically, but I don't want to like really offend
I
anybody or
I don't care. Like,
uh I find it kind of ironic because the whole thing like because that was Bush, a Republican president.
yeah.
I find the ultimate irony being where like the ultra right-wing conservatives are like so anti-vax now and whatever because they're like really, petrified that the vaccine has, like 5G or, tracking devices or whatever in it. And it's like, do you not have a cell phone? Have you not ever used GPS? Like, if the government wants to know where the hell you are, they know. Like, it's
Yeah,
not,
they can get
it's
you.
they're not putting a chip in the vaccine to figure out where you are, but I just find like the ultimate irony being that it was a Republican president that passed the Patriot Act, which takes away our rights, and the Republicans now and the conservatives being like, oh well, no, that's I you can't tell me to wear a mask. That's a violation of my rights and
Yeah.
this and that. It's like, do you guys not even pay attention to any of the shit that
I
happens in the world? Like I don't. I'm floored by it.
when I worked in the student loan industry, I've told this story multiple times to people, but this guy would contact us through Facebook because he didn't want to call us, he didn't want to do anything else. He was basically violating the terms of agreements for student loans left and right. And the government, like the Department of Education is so lax, dude. Like you're supposed to do this, that, the third, blah 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 blah. And like if people don't do it, they're just like, whatever. And you're like, what do you mean, whatever? Like,
Right?
but like it's funny because the guy's like he would contact us through Facebook. And I'm like, hey man, just send us an email with this stuff and we can get your loan taken care of. Like we could literally write off his loan. I just needed him to send me some fucking paperwork. And he's like, I don't want to give you my email. I was like, dude, you're on fucking Facebook. I was like, I was like, hey man,
Uh,
create a throwaway fucking account. And he's like, no. I was like, you have to have an email to sign up for Facebook, and you're constantly on Facebook. Like, I just wanted to scream at him. I just want to be like, you're fucking retarded. Like you're on the biggest. Yeah. Sorry.
it does no worries. It does not make any sense to me whatsoever that that's the hill that they're like willing to die on. And it's like, but you were fully in support of the Patriot Act and TSA being a thing because of the
TSA
by
is
virtue
garbage.
of getting rid of terrorism. So you have no problem with any of that stuff that's been going on for more than 20 years now. But having to wear a mask for a few months until people stop dying from a massive pandemic, that's what you are like so in a tizzy about?
I
Like, fuck off, man. I
I
just,
I refuse to believe that that's what they actually think. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm conservative. I'm conservative liberal. I think is what I'm called. Like I'm a little dashes of both. But like I think a culling of the herd needs to happen. And if I'm part of the herd, okay, like I can accept
yeah,
it.
I get it. So I'm an independent.
Okay,
I I'm like socially liberal and fiscally conservative.
okay,
I absolutely agree with LGBTQIA plus rights. I think that they absolutely have rights to be married and have equal rights as heterosexual people. Fully in support of like trans rights and obviously a huge feminist and supporter for equal rights with women. Uh, the flip side is I also don't think that everybody should just be given free money just because. Like,
yeah.
hey, so yeah, like more fiscally conservative, but like really like it's a woman's right to choose whether she wants to have an abortion or not. Fully believe that. I don't think that it's a man. And so like the whole shit that's going on with Texas, like who the fuck are they? Like
Well, did you hear what happened with Texas? The website that was set up.
no.
So some Christian groups set up a headhunting website to where you could report people for abortions, and within like 30 seconds of it being up, it exploded on Reddit. And I tried to crash it too. But by the time I had found out, the website was basically already crashed. I was getting like a DNS error, and so basically, I think a lot of people had flooded it with fake memes and shit. And then I'm pretty sure somebody out there just straight up DDoSed them, and now they took down the website.
That's pretty great
Yeah.
because again, with the ultimate irony, I don't know how many TikTok videos that I saw people like responding to, like where it would be conservatives where they would just be like, "Oh, if my son ever brings home a woman that's pro-choice or whatever, she's like, let me get my shotgun." It's like, okay, so you're supporting murder over so this is a person, and that's another thing that just floors me with, and I don't want to get again too political. We can you can tell me to shut the fuck
Oh
up and
no,
we can move on
I'm
to
fine
something
with
else, but
this.
So that's another thing, that the reason that I say that I'm independent is because I don't understand Democrats or Republicans, because Democrats say, okay, abortion is okay, but the death penalty is not. And then the flip side with conservatives, abortion should be illegal, but you're fully in support of the death penalty. It's like, well, wait, what? Where are you guys
It,
missing
it's it,
out here?
it's not. It's
Because
just it's wild. It's the wild fucking west.
yeah, so it's like, okay, Republicans believe that, pre before you even have a thought in your head, that, when you're still a sperm, that you're a cognizant being and that you have the right to live, but then as soon as you're of age, you can be put to death,
Bro, then I've
for
committed genocide according to them if they think sperm is a living creature. I've committed genocide, man.
exactly. Well, I think that was what was that in Legally Blonde? I
Yeah,
think, have you ever seen that movie with Reese Witherspoon?
I
She argues
have.
that that every masturbatory emission should be like grounds for penalization, because you're committing like willful manslaughter, or something. I forget how she terms it, but it's something to that
Have
effect.
you
Yeah,
heard
it's like
Ron White's joke about that? About
no.
mass, his like hardcore like Catholic grandma was like, it's better to have your seed be put into the belly of a whore than to fall on the ground. I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
I mean, and then it's funny because he's like, all right, grandma, can I borrow $50? You know?
That's priceless.
Oh god,
Uh,
I don't know. Like I don't mind talking politics. I really don't, because it's always interesting to view people, and I think it's funny because like a lot of times like I'll talk to people and it's just like preach, preach, bro, preach. I'm right there with you. Like I'm pro everything. It's just like I'm pro universal basic income. I'm pro on all these other things, just because of the situation that we're in. Like, but that culling of the herd, I firmly believe that nobody's that stupid. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
there has to be some, like, even if it's not the Illuminati, where it's just like all the, like a lot of people have that thought, like a lot of people have the thought of like, yeah, no, we need to thin the fucking herd out. A lot of people are
Yeah.
like, we need to thin the herd. And some of the one of the Republicans like, now what if we said masks were terrible, and that means more people die, and the vaccine is the bread, and then someone's like, hey, they could thin the herd a little bit, and then and then you watch it, and like all the smart people are like, yeah, no, masks fucking on, and then you got that red, I don't want to call them a redneck, but you got those people who are like, yeah, crayons taste great. Oh, what? No mask? Yeah, fuck mask. It's like, all right, Tommy boy.
I mean, I could almost see that being a thing, like the government being like some grand mass conspirators or whatever, about like a mass culling.
Yeah.
If, but they did it wrong, because like they should have made the mortality rate like that much higher then, like they should have made it so it's just where it was like often people left and right, and like only the super, elite rich people were going to survive, like, because
That's
Billy
that.
Bob Joe Blow, that's eating the crayons that you're talking about, he's still
It,
drinking his Schlitz and fishing with off the back of his pickup.
That's why when
Again,
when people are like, "Oh, they created the vaccine," it's like, no, no, they didn't. There's no way. And, like it was either like a beta, it was either like an alpha release of the coronavirus where they didn't quite get it right just yet,
yeah,
or the more plausible that I think, as my personal opinion, that it was just like, because like that's why we created everything so fast, is because we had the RNA stuff for the SARS viruses, which is
yes,
basically, it's just kind of,
oh my God,
yeah.
so
No, I know what you're talking about. Like
a
that's why we were able to
logical,
create it.
realistic approach to it.
Yeah.
So one of the funniest things that I've seen on social media, I think it was a Twitter post actually, uh, where it was a liberal guy talking about like the conservatives thinking that it was like this grand conspiracy thing about putting tracking devices in the vaccine or whatever. He's like, you think the government, the people that made the vaccination card so big that it won't fit in a like carryable size in your wallet, they were smart enough to figure out how to make something so small to put a tracking device in a needle? Like, give me a break. That's no.
All you need is your fucking phone. First off, My 5G is not working. I need to talk to Bill Gates about it because I have no signal right now. So
Oh,
that's a
just
fucking problem.
rub one of those magnetic corders on your on your injection spot. It's like Jesus Christ,
Okay,
people.
okay, hold on. I'm rubbing the spot, ladies and gentlemen. You can't see it. I got a booster in my left arm, and still no signal. Go fuck yourself, Bill Gates. I
Uh,
want a refund.
I,
Oh
I
my
don't know if
god.
you wanted to move on to another one. I don't know how you feel about. I don't know how much of a conspiracy it is really, but like the theory. I'm sure you've heard the theory posited about the potential that we're living in a simulation like a la the Matrix.
I it
I
wouldn't.
I, I don't know how I feel about it, but I did see some compelling stuff, and I'll give three examples. And again,
Okay.
it could have been completely faked, but uh, and the source probably isn't the best source, but there's a show that I like watching. It's on the Travel Channel. It's called Paranormal Caught on Camera. So, and again, I don't know what
Already
percentage
lost
of
points.
I don't know what percentage of this stuff is just, made up out of whole cloth. I don't know how much of it is faked or whatever, but the things that they showed, and this was like the little segment that they had was, oh, is there a glitch in the Matrix? Blah, blah, blah. There was this guy that was stuck in traffic in Florida. And so they're in a traffic jam. They're not moving. And he's watching this guy that's like kind of parallel to him in a convertible, the top's down, and it must have been going on for long enough that he finally started like videoing it. So you
Mhm.
see this guy, he's the only one, he's the driver in the car. He's the only one in there. And they're stuck. They're not moving. So he's like looking down on his phone, he's looking over, in the passenger seat, he's doing whatever. And uh the side view mirror that has his reflection,
Mhm.
his face does not move. So you can actively see the guy like moving his head and his reflection doesn't move, which is fucking weird. It's like
Okay. What
it's incredibly crazy.
what was the channel again? Because I want to Google this and I want to see if I can find it.
Yeah, so it's the Travel Channel
Glitch in the
and
Matrix, Travel Channel.
Paranormal Caught on Camera.
I don't know. Paranormal. It's funny because my mom needed some information for something, and she was like, she's like, I can't find anything, and blah 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 blah, and like my googling took 2 seconds, and I was able to fucking find it. Demon
Yeah.
was her baby. Okay, there's probably just too much shit on there for that. I probably won't be able to find it without
Yeah.
moving into my
Well,
main screen and finding it. But okay.
so if you can seek that out, because in that same segment they had another one that was like two adult children in San Diego. Well, not adult children. They're two adults, but they're children of this couple of parents that they're waiting to come out of this restaurant. And they look off in the distance and they see like this palm frond. And this palm frond is not connected to a tree. It's
Hmm.
just like hanging in space.
Okay.
Like it should be connected to a tree, but it's almost as if like the person that was like doing the quality like control forgot to, finish the putting the tree in there. So that was weird. There was another one that was in the UK where this guy got done dumping the trash, and there was this piece of like plastic that was left over, and it was just like I don't know, maybe the size of like a pen or something, and it's just like hanging there in space. And he's showing from the camera angle that it's not suspended by any kind of like string or clear like fishing line or any like thing like that. He's going all around it to show that plastic is just hanging in space, like off of nothing. And he took that to mean that it was like a glitch in the matrix, that physics
Okay.
wasn't working properly. So it's weird. So I don't know how sold I am on the whole thing, but that was certainly like weird enough to say, like especially that one, the video of the guy where you could very clearly see his head moving and then like no change in the reflection of the mirror. That's a little weird.
I'd probably have to see the videos. I would. I mean, it's so weird because we're so good at faking shit nowadays. You know that's
Yeah.
that's a problem that I have. And then, do you remember when the Discovery Channel did a thing on mermaids way back in the day? You're smiling like you remember it a little bit.
No, well, I didn't know if you would because it was also I love that show.
Yeah.
I don't
So I remember watching it and I was like, oh my fucking god, like legit, like, because they showed a bunch of those like videos where like, and like they're real, like I would hope that they're legit real, but like they kind of come up with this stuff with evidence and all of a sudden it's just like, no, that's all fake. And you're
Well,
like,
so see, there's that's people trying to make a quick buck. There's been enough people that have unfortunately fucked it over because I fully believe in aliens, and I think that there's, probably a possibility that things like Bigfoot exist and we just haven't found it yet. Enough assholes have just been trying to get rich quick that they've faked enough stuff that it kind of just throws everything else.
well, I
It
mean,
throws skepticism on the entire thing, right?
that's the problem though, is that like I mean take the ocean for example. Like we're finding massive creatures in the ocean that we've never like you're like, how the fuck did we miss that? You know,
Right.
it's like, oh, that's right, the ocean's massive. Like Bigfoot, I can't, like it's like maybe there's a very small population of Bigfoot that's out there.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the Great Filter. You know, what it was. I think it's called the Fermi paradox, where it talks
Hmm.
about why there might be aliens, why there might not be aliens, and you know, like I'm curious. Like I don't know. Like it just it's I used to love saying this. It's above my fucking pay grade. It's
Just
above my
that
pay grade.
the universe is just far too vast, and there's far too many, solar systems and certainly other galaxies. The Milky Way is, this tucked away galaxy in the corner of the universe that's just so huge, vast swaths. I mean, like you said about the oceans, what is it, like 65, 70% or more of the
Yeah,
oceans are completely unexplored? It's
yeah.
like we can't even explore our own planet that we've been on here for, forever. And
But we
we're
know
supposed to,
so much about the moon. Yeah.
right? Yeah. So who are we to think that, other solar systems don't exist with people that are having conversations just like this, thinking that they're the only, assholes in the world. So,
I wonder if it's that because you know how like I mean this is just a quick little side note here. You know how like scientists are like, oh yeah, we're looking through a telescope, but we're looking at something that's like we're looking 10,000 years in the past because of the way light
yeah,
travels to us, and it's
right.
like, well, okay, the Fermi paradox, there may be that quote unquote great filter to where nobody goes beyond it. But I mean, if every time we look out into the solar system that is promising planets, you know, yeah, we're maybe looking at 10,000 years in the past, but they're looking at us with the same fucking view. They're like, oh,
Hmm.
that's Earth 10,000 years in the past. They might have life on there, and it's dinosaurs, you know? Like,
Right. Yeah.
so,
They don't want to come visit because they're scared they're going to get eaten, or
yeah, exactly.
they're Neanderthals or something that are, grunting and can't even make fire. They're like, why would we go to that
Yeah,
backwoods ass place?
the
They haven't even harnessed fire yet. Fuck those guys.
Look, bro, we got the lightsaber that that toasts bread as soon as we cut it. They're running around with sticks. Come the fuck on. You know, they wait for the lightning to strike. They got the one idiot that holds up the stick. The lightning hits him. Fire happens. He's dead. One less mouth to feed. Now they have fire. All right, all right. What's next here? All right. I really want to touch on that, but that's like brutal. Okay, this one is good. This one is good. So you can see it now. The 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So my it's this is the advice section, ladies and gentlemen. My 15. I'll answer your question real quick to the what conspiracy theory do you believe is true? I'm pretty sure there is a Bigfoot. There's got to be a Bigfoot out there. So that's my conspiracy theory. We touched on that, but
Yeah.
my 15-year-old sister is best friends with a 29-year-old man. Should I be worried? And then he talks about like how this dude pursued her from when she was 15 till she was 18, and then he dropped her and is now friends with his little sister. They talk about anime and stuff like that, but other times I guess there's like some cringy photos, and there's an example that we're gonna go pull up here. Oh, fuck off, I am Gru. The guy texts her, I don't want to bother you much because you have, he spells have, SHAV. you have school and stuff, so I'll just message you on your B-Day and Christmas and New Year's Day. And then his little sister's like, thanks. And then she uses the ILY, which is, I'm assuming, is I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then he says, love you too, BB sister. Um,
Yeesh.
should you be worried?
Yes.
I mean, if the dude's mentally ill, maybe a little bit more.
Well, I mean, I was reading a little bit, and she was talking about, okay, first of all, she's saying like she's invading her sister's privacy. Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
cool. But I mean, I think in this case,
it's
yeah, you're probably
warranted.
justified because
Yeah,
she says that this guy also had a crush on her when she was 15 and pursued her until she was 18. And now that the younger sister is 15, this dude is absolutely like, I didn't get to tap that other one. Maybe I have a chance with this. I think she absolutely has cause for concern
yeah,
and needs to fucking not only get her sister out of the situation, but also report this dude because if something hasn't happened, this is probably something will
yeah.
because that's not
That's grooming, 100%.
yeah, this is not innocent. This is not just like a friendship kind of fucking thing. No, for sure. Because I don't ever want to say that there's a scenario where a 29-year-old man can't be legitimately like platonic friends with a 15-year-old girl. I think that there is a world where that possibility exists. I don't think reading that this is that case at all.
I had a comment. Oh, I don't even like texting my friends' wives. Like, my buddy Alex will text me, and then his wife will send me a text, and I don't really even like responding to her. Cause like I'm like, why do I need to talk to you? Like I don't need to talk to I don't need to talk to your wife. Like it's
Unless it's something related to Alex, like you're
yeah.
planning his birthday party or something like yeah, but just in general, like yeah,
It's just like in general, it's so weird. Like I remember one time, one of my buddy's wives. This was back when I was in the military. Like she hit me up with something, and I'm like, "Is Tony not available?" And she's like, "Oh no, he is. He just wanted me to text you." I was like, "This is really awkward. Can you just have him text me?" So yeah, no, that's these are and I think it was you that I was talking about, where like people ask on Reddit. It's like, bro, do you even really need a fucking answer? Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, he's got 1.7 thousand upvotes, 660 comments. It's like there should be one comment with 1,000 million upvotes that just says, no, you need to report this to the police. Like,
Absolutely.
that's so
Yes.
weird. Yeah.
Like, is
Uh,
she really drilling down to the all 660 comments or whatever? Like,
yeah.
does she really, well, 640 of them say that I should be concerned, but maybe I'm just going to hold out until I get to these other 20. Maybe they have a differing opinion. Like, no, you already know asking the question.
Like, a lot of
Don't
these,
be stupid.
like, this is another great example here. This guy's like, should I leave my girlfriend of 6 years? I've been with my girlfriend since they were 20. They're 26 now. I love her, but I loved her to bits. Fuck, I can't read from that distance. You read it, Eric. You read it.
I've been with my girlfriend uh, since we were 20. I loved her to bits at first sight. She was sweet, kind, and enthusiastic about everything. In the fast in the last few years, she's put on a lot of weight, and I don't mean a small amount. I mean she's now at around 600 pounds, and I can't fend for herself these days. She depends on me, and I have to do everything. She always demands food and treats me like dirt. She's rude and mean and not the girl I fell in love with, and she refuses to try to fix the issue. What should I do as I've begun to fall out of love with her?
Thank you, by the way. Can't
Yeah,
fuck. Yeah, like you would imagine a 65-inch TV, only 10 feet away would be okay. But the ratio gets weird when I do stuff. I can barely read. Um, okay, let's just for instance say this. Let's take out the weight issue because I know a lot of people might be like, "Oh, that's fat phobic" or whatever the fuck that is. Let's
yeah,
take out her weight issue. She's not the woman you love anymore. She basically like I hated my ex-girlfriend. She's like, I'm gonna sell my couch. She's like, great, go for it. Put it up on Facebook, Craigslist. She's like, can you do it? No, I don't want to. You do it. It's simple. Like, hey, I want pizza. Great, call Domino's. No, can you? Fuck. No, I don't want to do shit for you. Like, fucking do shit for yourself. Like, you're falling in a like. Look, you don't. If you're falling in love with a woman and she's just totally net. Like, if everything is all of a sudden net negative,
yeah. Like you had mentioned, the weight doesn't even need to be an issue. Like
yeah,
he didn't even have to make anything about that because his like next sentence is, that she treats me like dirt, she's rude and mean, and not the girl I fell in love with. Okay, well, you've answered your own question, dude.
Yeah.
Like the weight doesn't even like come into the equation. Like she's not the same person. She's mean to you. Toxic situation. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Toodaloo hoo hoo hoo. This one is great. This is a Black Widow cosplayer. Can you see it?
I can.
Okay. So this is just hilarious. She's trying to zip up her costume. It's a very skin tight, and she's not even that well endowed in the chestoral region, but something just amazing happens as she tries to forcefully
Oof.
zip it up, and it just pops open. Yeah. So I'd like, she's it's not even that big. It's just she's not even that big chested, like maybe a big B, but like it's hilarious when they
Well,
do that.
for her frame, I think
Okay, yeah, for her
those
frame, big.
those are pretty good size.
But yeah, but it's hilarious. All right, so this is one that I have been. So I love To Catch a Predator. I don't know why I love To Catch a Predator. I think it's hilarious. It is amazing, and it always gives me this weird psychological question, to where it's like, when does it not become weird?
Yeah.
Like so, like it just there are so many little pinpoints, and this one is great. So really, it's going to have 0 upvotes. I thought this had more. Okay. So, friend who is a 17-year-old male is sleeping with a 15-year-old girl. I wanted to see what strangers thought about this. My friend, who I've known for many, many years, is a senior in high school. He's like 17 and a half, basically, and he's with a sophomore who turned 15 3 months ago. I think it's very weird and gross and kind of predatory, but he says there's no issue because, and he's quoting, I know plenty of seniors who are with sophomores, and the sophomore class has the hottest girls. That's weird, right? Like it's the wrong, right? I don't want to not be friends with him. I don't give a fuck anymore. Yeah. Do you want to kick it off or should I? Cuz like I see the wheels turning, man. I see the
Uh,
wheels turning.
I just I'm how old is this person that's posting this?
I'm
I'm assuming
assuming
like the
senior.
same age
Yeah, I'm gonna say
ish.
he's a senior who's. I'm gonna say he's a senior who turned 18 his senior year.
Okay.
That's what I'm assuming from this. Now, see, this is the question. This is where the To Catch a Predator thing comes into play. They caught an 18-year-old guy going after a 16-year-old girl. Like he wasn't going after a 13 or a 14 or a 12-year-old like most of the To Catch a Predator, the 40-year-old dudes
Yeah.
going after like 12-year-olds. He was
Right.
18, and they I guess they caught the one, TCAP person who was posing as a 16-year-old. Like I'm like, that's like he just came out of school with that like girl. Like he was just out of school with somebody like that, you
Yeah,
know?
that's where I mean certainly when you start getting into the things that like one of the first ones that we discussed, which was the 29 with the 15-year-old. That's a problem.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
predatory
that's a fucking
behavior.
problem.
That's grooming, like you said. This just seemed that's within their age group. I mean, that's they're both still in high school.
Yeah,
So I don't I mean, should they be sleeping together? Probably not. But I mean, everyone does it these
yeah,
days, right? I mean, that it's so normalized, and so 17 to 15, that's not a problem. Now it becomes a legal issue because once he turns 18, yeah, then she's
that's so weird though,
underage,
isn't it?
and it's technically statutory rape, and so now that's a problem if her parents make it a problem. But yeah, that's the weirdest
See,
thing
that's
to me.
that's where I have an issue with it. Like they're dating now, and apparently they've been dating for a little while now. But as soon as he turned 18, like he has to stop everything.
Yeah, well, so okay, so one I think
Like that's just weird
uh,
to me.
another one of like the we're talking a lot about irony over the course of this conversation, right? So I think another one of the ironic things comes into play where people will fully think that it's fine if that same like if a 40-year-old dude is with a 22-year-old girl, right?
No, not.
I don't think so. I think it's gross, but people, it's like it happens enough in the world where people aren't like, that's a problem, whatever, he's a predator, yada yada. And yet he's legitimately like old enough to be her father. and people don't have a problem. But when it's like a 18 to 16, they're like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
Ah, throw this guy behind bars."
it's like, yeah, that's so
Yeah,
weird.
like what? How? Why?
I,
Like,
I was
uh,
I maybe want to say I guess I could maybe use the phrase I was lucky enough to date some younger women when I was kind of hitting like 28, 29, who was like 19, 20ish. And like even then, like the older I get, it starts to become like a little bit more weirder because I'm like I found a lot of issues with the younger girls where it's just like I'm like I don't like as a 28, 29, like cuz I'm 34 now, like when I was then, like I was still at the same maturity level that I'm at now, where it's just like if I have a problem, I fucking solve it. I don't bitch about it. I don't go on Facebook. I don't name drop this or like if something's bothering me at work, I just like I'm like okay, how do I solve this? Whereas they
yeah,
don't know how to, like it's weird to me. And like okay, kudos to you that you're 50 and you're hooking up with a 20-year-old girl and you're in a great relationship. You love each other, and I'm happy that it lasts until you pass away and she loves you. Like I'm great if that's
right.
legitimately what it is. But if it's a
Yeah.
daddy kink,
Hmm.
I mean, I guess he stepped in at the right fucking time. But like it's still so
But it's
weird.
us. Okay, so there's this guy that he recently passed away actually.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a representative for our company. Like he wasn't directly affiliated with us, but he worked on our behalf, you know.
Yeah,
Um, he was married for a number of years. He had an adult son and an adult daughter. And then, they got like the kids went off on their own to do their own thing, and then the parents realized that they didn't have anything in common anymore, and so they went their separate ways. Next thing you know, well, I mean, not next thing you know, like a year or so went by. He hooks up with this. He moves to Thailand, and then
yeah.
he hooks up with this woman who's 3 years younger than his daughter. That to me is fucking gross. Like
I
she's literally young enough to be your daughter. She's younger than your daughter, and you're sitting here talking about how in love you are and this and that. As like, that's fucking disgusting.
like I get wanting to have a younger woman. I really, truly, honestly do. But there's a line. There's
Yeah,
a line.
in complete agreement. Like even from like you were talking about before, like not really having a lot in common. Like how do you have conversations because you're in like different generations? Like you don't have the same kind of like maybe even values or life experience and whatever. So it's like once you start getting into like 10 plus years kind of thing, it's like
Yeah.
that's too much, man.
Like I
It's too
mean,
much.
like even with my ex, I think she was like maybe 6 years younger than me. Like I think Emily was maybe, and Emily's a super common name, but like so I don't mind throwing it out there. But like I think Emily was maybe like 4 or 6 years younger than I was. And even still, like, cause she was still she did college a super long way. She basically went to college for free, so she would basically go as far as scholarships would go, and then she would just keep going to school basically for free, which was a brilliant idea. When I found out that what she did, but like when she finally graduated college and was starting her life, I was already like 5 years. I think I was 4 or 5 years into my career at Great Lakes Student Loan Company. Like, and I was like, I'm gonna be here for a fucking minute. Like, I totally planned on spending another 10, 15 years with that company
Mhm.
until I got like super sick and had to basically make a bunch of adjustments. But like, I was cemented in my career.
Yeah.
And because she was a couple years younger than me, and basically technically was a quote unquote younger person, like there's just so many vast differences. Her work was sporadic. The little bit of work that she did do was a lot of this part-time stuff, and it was just like I mean, like we had a lot of great things that were in common, but you're right, there's not like once you get past a lot of this, the mostly superficial things, like there wasn't a whole heck of a lot, but like it's cool because
Yeah.
a lot of what we did have in common was super strong and powerful. But
Right.
like looking back on it, it's like, damn, dude.
I also kind of think that maybe you and I specifically are a little skewed because we did military. Well, we did military before college, right? So like we when we were going to college, we were like the older people.
Yeah.
Because so me, I graduated high school early. I got advanced grade, and so I was 17 when I graduated, and so I had to have a waiver signed by my parents to actually go into the military. So I
That's
went
so
into the
dumb.
military at 17 years old, right? And that was really like the first time that I had been, aside from, like 2 weeks at camp. Um, that was the first time that I'd ever been away. So you have to like grow the fuck up pretty
Yeah.
quick, like you're on your own, and you're because especially like after boot, when you're out in the fleet or whatever, you pretty much take care of yourself. Like no
Yeah.
one's going to tell you like, hey, dickhead, aside except if you have duty or like work or whatever, like, go take a shower. You need to make sure you eat, whatever bills you have, you need to make sure that you pay these. No, you're just on your own. So
Yeah.
you have to like grow up and be responsible. So I think also kind of like certainly what skews me, because then by the time I was going to school, I was like the fucking old man, like
Yeah.
I had already like had my full like military thing, and I was the fucking geezer. So
So weird
yeah,
sitting in class with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old kids. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so fucking old right now. Like, cause
exactly.
like, these young kids who are like, there's this one girl in one of my classes that I just wanted to fucking slap. And it's not because she was a woman, but it was just,
Yeah.
there's that girl that she was just like, well, blah, 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 blah. And this entitlement, and just like,
Yeah.
well, I think, and did it. And I'm like, shut the fuck up and let the teacher do what her job is supposed to be. Just shut the fuck up and let her do what she does. You don't need to insert yourself in everything.
I'd like to think that those people eventually get their comeuppance, but I think we see enough in society that that's no, like that that just everyone has that sense of entitlement anymore. Like everybody thinks that they're a special, unique, individual that is entitled to whatever the best of what the world has to offer. And it's like, you're not special. You're just another dickhead like me. So get the fuck back in line where you belong, like
Well, I think it's great when somebody calls you a special snowflake. I'm like, yeah, no, I am a special fucking snowflake. Do you know the mathematical equation to how I came to be in existence and how improbable it is that I came into existence the exact way that I am? Like, it is statistically impossible that I came into existence the way that I came into existence. Like, if you like, I remember somebody did the math. I don't know if it was correct, but it sounded pretty goddamn impossible. It's like the way that you came out to be the way you are. I mean, he did math stuff, and I was just
yeah,
like, I'm,
math.
just eating my fudge, and I'm just like, no, that's yeah, no, you carried the five, you did real good there. But it's just like, it's like, yeah, like you have no control over it, like whatever. It's so dumb.
That's so shy. It's funny that you brought up Snowflake, and then again, speaking like irony seems to be the thing of the theme of the episode. You might want to title it like irony or something, the ironic episode, and play the Alanis Morissette song. When I was at so like COVID cases started to spike again, and they had repealed the mask mandate, but then they
Mhm.
kind of like they brought it back, where
Yeah.
they were like strongly suggesting, regardless of your vaccination status, that you wear a mask and whatever. I'm at the grocery store, and I'm just minding my own business, mask on, and over the store loudspeaker, they're playing the Beatles' "All You Need Is Love," and I'm just like by the Frozen section, and wheeling around the corner, coming into the section, was this lady who she wasn't wearing a MAGA hat or a Trump shirt, but you can tell, just by
You-
looking at her. She was one of them. And she was one where she wasn't wearing a mask. And then she's loudly singing along, like loudly, obnoxiously singing along to the song. Okay. All You Need Is Love. And then she sees me, makes eye contact with me, wearing the mask. And she's like mumbling under breath, fucking sheep snowflake. And I'm like, you don't even understand the irony, you fucking cunt. You're singing All You Need Is Love, and then calling me a fucking snowflake for following the rules and not wanting to spread COVID around.
Just
Like, oh my,
love your fellow man.
just
Uh,
unbelievable.
it's funny that you mentioned that because I went to the grocery store today, and I've loved the wireless earbud trend. I had two great wireless earbuds. I threw them in, and I had this one lady who was just giving me the death stare. It's like, why? What is wrong with you, lady? Like, what is going on? I was like, oh, that's right. I'm randomly just moving my lips to the sound. I was listening to ICP, and I'm just like, what is a juggalo? And like I'm just listening to ICP, and I'm like, I'm speaking, but like no sound is coming out because I don't want to be like, what is a juggalo in the middle of fucking Walmart, And this lady's just giving me the death glare, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm pretending to sing this song. It's just like,
classic.
yeah, no, like what? Look at that crazy man over there just talking on under. Yeah, no, I was that guy in Walmart.
That's awesome.
So speaking of love and people ruining the moments, what was ruined because too many people started doing it?
Oh shit! You name it, everything.
Yeah, you name
I,
it, everything.
I like the first comment there is driving can't get anywhere with this traffic. That's pretty. There's a reason there's like 4,500 upvotes on that one.
Oh, I know, I
That's a
love it.
pretty good one. Um,
Geocaching, okay.
I think yeah, legitimately like everything once. I mean, society is just so fickle that once anything starts to become popular, that's the downward slope of it, right? Like, there's the people that were the early adopters, and then once it starts becoming mainstream, then those same people that were early adopters are like, well, I can't like it now
Yeah,
because, right?
I don't know.
So,
I one thing that heavy metal, like I remember when heavy metal was taboo. Like I remember I was sitting in a truck in Iraq, and one of my buddies was like, "What do you listen to?" I was like, "Fucking Metallica, Slayer, Kill Switch Engage," and he's like, "You're gonna listen to some fucking Garth Brooks." Now this was the guy that I was telling you about that couldn't put on his own
okay,
seatbelt. He
yeah.
was the big country boy, and I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna listen to Garth Brooks today," But like it was fun because like I'd get in my own truck or I'd be the lead, and I'm like, "We're gonna listen to Metallica today," and people hated riding with me. And then it was funny because like a few years later, I was like one of the girls that there's a girl by the name of Motsky who I used to ride with all the time. She was this petite little thing who could just destroy. I think I told you about her. She was the MMA fighter that kicked my ass. This may have been somebody else that I told, but like she specifically asked to get posted with me because I never hit on her. I'm like, yeah, I'm in a truck with you for 12 hours. How weird would that be if you neglect? Like, if I was like, you're kind of
Yeah,
cute, and you're like, I don't think you're cute. It's like, oh, okay. Now the rest of your shift is weird, and you're
right.
11 hours and 55 minutes to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I never hit on her, but one day I was like, "Hey Amber, you mind if I throw on some Metallica?" And she's like, "Fuck yes!" And then all of a sudden, everybody loves all this heavy metal. I'm like, I kind of liked it when nobody else liked it,
Yeah,
like when it was taboo. So
it felt like it was your thing.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I get that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So we got a cute little story here, as you can see. So this, I like these green texts are always awesome because they tell these little stories, and it's awesome. So this dude says that he introduced himself to a QT chick from his class. They hit it off big. She's constantly hitting him up, sending him selfies, flirts, and then tries his best to text me. Eventually, he asks her out after 3 days of talking, and apparently she happily accepts it. She then very suddenly stops texting him and blowing off all the plans that they made, which is basic generic bullshit. And then he finds her Twitter. Eric, you want to go ahead and tell the people what her Twitter is?
Yeah, so her post was, I hate liking someone, but then they ruin it by liking you back.
So
What the fuck?
yeah, you're right. Irony is strong. I think this one is going to be Puddle Pirates Cast in Iron, or the Iron Cast or some shit like that.
So Puddle Pirates is actually the disparaging term for the Coast Guard.
Don't
So
care. You're Navy. I don't care. You're on a boat. You're
yeah,
in a boat. Yeah. Ah.
no, it's fine. I had a good chuckle when I saw that when you posted it and what the title was. I had a lot of fun with that.
Oh, it's okay. A lot of people. Anytime a fellow veteran hits me, but I was like, oh, I was in the military too. They're like, what branch were you? And I was like, Chair Force. And everyone's like, I'm like, if I'm gonna get made fun of, I'm gonna cut it off at the pass, because as soon as I'm like, oh, it's Air Force, they're like, Chair Force, Chair Force. They're like, how was the AC, man? I'm like, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I've got a lot of affinity for the Air Force because that's one of the branches where you got to be the smartest. I mean, it's like just like I think the Navy is second in line to the Air Force in terms of like you have to have the high ASVAB scores to even get accepted in the Air Force. And plus, they work with jets, and I worked with jets. So I mean, if
Yeah.
it wasn't for naval aviation, then
I'm gonna tell you right now. My naval score, my ASVAB score. I think it was like a 70, 65, maybe. Wasn't that high? Wasn't that good? Or is that good?
I think that's well, it's above average.
That was
I
like
think,
two. I took it in like 2003, 2004, mind you. So
yeah. I don't know how much it changed, if whatever, but but that's above average.
okay, okay. Well, what is average 50?
Yeah.
Okay, so like just so like I'm a D minus. Yeah, yeah,
No, if you got a 70, that's a solid. That's a C.
yeah. I loved it because like I was like I want to be a cop, and my recruiter's like you're smart, you can do all this other stuff. I was like no, 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 I want to be a cop. And he's like all right, fine, go be a cop. I was like yay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's a great example of this is why we can't have nice things.
Shit.
And if it's a Navy related story, it's even better.
Hmm. Oh, this is normally the ones that when you've been pulling up the tabs, I've got something that, kind of sparks right away. This is one that yeah, you could go first if you've got a good
Uh,
example.
Viral challenges. Viral challenges. I mean, remember when the Tide Pod was a thing? Like,
Yeah, my God.
dude, like it was funny because I got into an argument with somebody. I actually kind of got into an argument with somebody about the crate challenge. You know, the milk crate challenge, and I was
Yeah.
like, good. Then the fucking herd, and they're like, what? They're like, what about kids? And I was like, if look, who's typically recording this? You know what I mean? Like, who
Yeah.
typically records this? Well, their dumb friend. Okay, like, yeah, kids are impressionable, but like, I would hope that mom and dad, like, if a kid is watching TikTok, I would hope that they would be of the age to where their parents would have taught them right from wrong. But then again, if their parents are the ones doing the challenges,
Yeah.
I mean, you're setting the bar kind of fucking low there, big guy.
Absolutely.
You
No,
know?
we have definitely, as a society, we've regressed. We've gotten a lot fucking dumber for sure. I think there's just been wholesale like lobotomies that are just administered to like in the in the birthing wards. It's kind of remarkable.
Like,
I mean, like just the helicopter parenting that they people do. It's like,
uh,
and it's almost the thing. It's like, oh, the kids, the precious kids. It's like, well, okay, parents normally never stop taking their eyes off the children anyway. So how would the kid ever get hurt? Because the parents are all up in their kid's ass. How would anything ever happen to the precious child that would be impressioned by these videos? Because you know what I mean? Like
hey, do
in
you remember
in
when
our
we were
day,
kids?
like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, we
no, yeah.
go
Tell
the
it.
fuck outside and don't come back until it's dark. And actually, as long as it's not like freezing and dark, you can still stay out.
Yeah, as long as the street lights are on, you just come back a little after the street lights come on. Like I remember going out to play. Like it would be like 10 o'clock in the morning. Hey mom, I'm going over to Ryan's. Okay, is Ryan's mom home? No. All right, be safe. And then like I'd come home like and it'd be dark and it'd be like 10 o'clock at night, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, "How's your day?" I could have been kidnapped
Yeah,
in
oh
the
my God.
middle. Like I roamed around my neighborhood. Like I went across bridges, like pre cell phone, like I legitimately disappeared for 10 hours a day in the summer, and my mom was just like, "Hey, honey, how you doing?" It's like I'm alive.
Yeah, I've got a story kind of like in line, somewhat pseudo tangentially related to like the
Don't
paranormal
care.
kind of stuff.
Tell it.
Okay. Um, I was 11 years old, and this was after the whole like satanic panic kind of thing. But
Uh,
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
But it was
yeah.
still kind of like in the zeitgeist where like parents want to throw away heavy metal music because of the backwards masking and the subliminal messages and whatever. So this is after that had happened, but I was staying over at a buddy's house, and we were gonna like just camp in his backyard. Well, we got the bright idea that fuck it, up, like a couple miles away from the house, there's a library that has a huge like wooded trail area behind it. And we would always used to go up there and ride bikes, and you can see wildlife there every once in a while. And there's the trails and whatnot. And there's, well, what we call the cliff. It's really like this, 25-foot, overhang that just gently slopes into a valley. But when you're a kid,
Yeah.
it's a cliff.
Yeah.
We decide that, oh, screw it, we're not gonna, stay in the backyard. We're gonna take our tent and all of our gear, and we're gonna ride our bikes up, and we're gonna camp up behind the library, behind the trails. Well, his mom was definitely one that would be like, no, that's not okay. You're not doing that. So we're just like, we're gonna wait until they go to bed. And his parents went to bed at like 8:30, so they were like super like early to bed kind of people.
Yeah.
So 8:30 hits, and we're like, all right, get your gear. We're riding our bikes up, and we're gonna. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking, because like we would have had to get up early enough in the morning, before they did, to like ride our bikes back to make sure that we beat them back before we got, just our asses handed to us. But we ride our bikes to the library, and we see a couple cars like in the parking lot. And this is, probably 9 o'clock at night by the time we get there. And so we're like, that's weird. The library's closed. What's going on? We decide to take we leave the bikes by the entrance of the path, and we decide to take like half of our gear along with us to try to, see what was going on, and like set up our spot, and then we're going to come back for the rest of our shit. This is the most scared that I've ever been in my life. And mind you, I'm 11 years old at this time. And apparently, no one told these people that were back there that the Satanic Panic was a fake thing, and that they really shouldn't be out there in fucking like monks' robes in a circle chanting with like fucking, candles. Because they were on our cliff where we were planning on staying, doing exactly that, chanting this inhuman fucking shit. And we're like, what the hell is going on? We ended up like stepping on a branch or something and making noise, and just to see these like hooded people turn, just illuminated by candlelight, is scary enough as it is. And then when they see us and know that someone's there, and then haul ass after us, chasing us, I have never I have never, Jared, run so fast in my life, still probably to this day. We got on our bikes and we fucking flew, like we just abandoned all of our shit there. Just
Oh
like
my
threw all the gear on
god.
the ground, like fuck this, screw on. Get on our bikes, haul ass. And we like got back inside of his house, and we're just like looking out the window, just like petrified, just trembling in fear
Oh
and
my
practically
god.
hyperventilating. And then we see this car just slowly pass like by his house and flip the lights
Oh my
off.
god.
And we're like, what the fuck? And we thought for sure that they like followed us and knew exactly where they were and were gonna come kill us. We did not get a wink of sleep that night.
Oh
And I
my
still like,
god.
so still to this day, when people talk about, oh, the Satanic Panic wasn't real and it was all just fake and blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, probably, but not to these people, because whether anything happened or whether they truly believed that anything was going to happen, they fucking thought it was, and
Oh
they
my
certainly
god.
scared the daylights out of us that we thought it was a legitimate thing.
Holy
Like
fuck.
I'm still like, all these years later, decades later, I'm like, oh my God.
Like I know that feeling that you're talking about, where all of a sudden just everything tenses, and like you feel like you're choking, but your body just screams to move, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what direction, you just pick a direction and you go. I've had a few of those moments. I completely forget, but I know that feeling where you just, it's like you burn up. Oh my god, there's, oh
Well,
fuck me.
sometimes you get so like petrified that your muscles stop working. You're just
Yeah.
paralyzed with fear. And I'm just like really thankful that neither one of us was that way in the moment, because like who the fuck knows what would have happened? Now, were they really legitimate Satanists? Who knows? Were they just a bunch of teenagers out there getting drunk and fucking around, and they just wanted to scare the shit out of us? Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
Like
mission accomplished.
had they caught us, would anything have happened? I don't know, but who knows? Like you had mentioned, like you could have been kidnapped, like you could have died. Like who knows what they would have done? Maybe they were thought that they were fledgling Satanists, and they're like, "Oh, we got two perfect sacrifices right here!" Like, oh my God,
I don't know what
yeah,
I would have done. I probably would have done the same thing. But like I've had that moment where you just like you petrified for a brief minute, and all I remember is my brain going move, 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 and like I think it was like by the third move I was like, yep, no, I have to go, and like it was just I picked a direction and I ran. Fuck, that shit's so scary.
yeah,
Like it's weird because like my trailer part gets pretty dark in the middle of the night, even though technically do have street lamps. But a lot of these street lamps were probably put up in the 70s, so like they're
yeah.
just that orange, very dull orange fluorescent glow. And like so like if I go out to my car at night, like I like to take my my phone and my flashlight out there, and like I even feel like something is out there, like I feel like something is following me, and I'm like, there's nothing, everybody's too drunk or wasted, it's a fucking Friday night, like there's
You
no.
got the Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin, though.
I
I
did.
don't.
You shut your mouth right now. I don't even want to hear that shit. Oh my god! Like
I
it's
don't know.
just.
I'm sitting here just like trembling now. Just like it put me right back in that headspace. Like I envisioning
Oh my god!
what. And like this the super, like again for the irony, I live like in the subdivision that's close to that. So that trail, like the hill isn't there, the cliff isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
The trails are still kind of pseudo there. The library's still there. I live in the subdivision that's like literally across the street from the fucking
that's fucking
library. Like
awesome.
I've taken my dogs back on the trails behind there, and I still kind of get like skeeved out when I get like close to that area because it's still,
Yeah,
it's
it's
still
scary.
like petrifying.
God, like yeah, I don't want to. Fuck that. I don't want to go back. That's no, that's dumb. But all right, I've been waiting. I've been waiting to get your reaction. Now that we're in the proper mindset of fight or flight here, uh,
Okay. Yeah.
so you know what? I'm gonna throw in a little bit of sound here because it's gonna help. It's gonna help the viewers out here. But so this gentleman, I think he's got groceries in his left hand, is what it looks like. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, there we go. Like it looks like he's got groceries in his left hand right there, and I think he's going into his apartment, is what it sounds like. So I'm gonna click play here in about 3, 2, 1. It's unlocking his house.
It's going in. Going in. Going in here. No. You said no.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, split second. Split second. It's ridiculous. That was insane. Yeah, he dropped that guy. He's in mid fall. just
Wow.
just stopped. I love it. Like this is what I love about the breakdown, because like here he notices and you can see he's reaching for his pistol, which is like right on that back hip, and like
Yeah.
he feels it. Like it's weird because it looks like a really nice neighborhood, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah.
like
Well, but he definitely he heard something
yeah,
and he knew someone was up to no good. And so yeah, he's readying himself by putting his hand on the piece.
you know what's even
And
more
then
interesting? Those are his keys in his hand too. So not only did he unholster probably from the back of his pants, but he dropped this dude with his keys in his hand and holding his pistol at the same time.
yeah, with just
Like
like
see, look there, he's got his
oh
keys,
yeah.
he draws
Yeah.
it, he's got his keys, and then the other dude reaches, and that's that split second that they're talking about with that fight.
Yeah.
Because he had unholstered right beforehand, he was able to drop the dude, and I'm pretty sure that's a very dead individual that we're looking at
Yeah.
right now as he falls.
Holy shit.
But that is insane.
Yeah, that's
Oh
a
my
baller move. I
god.
mean, imagine like how much his heart was like pounding out of his chest. Dude, like
Oh,
you think that you got groceries, you're trying to go into your house, and then you're about to get jacked.
about to
Holy
get
shit.
fucking jacked. Yeah, like
Well,
that's
but then yeah, no, the downside of it is too is now he's like taken another person's life, and whether it was justified, which in this case it absolutely was, but now he's got to live with that for the rest of his life, and he's
there's
probably
no,
gonna have fucking nightmares and PTSD, and he's gonna like, man, I fucking killed somebody,
you
like
know,
I don't know that he's ever gonna get over that too, and that's the shitty thing is like that, yeah,
I'm a stereotype here. I don't think he cares. To be completely honest with you, he the way he his facial, the way he looked facially, and I'm not stereotyping him off of the color of his skin. I'm not stereotyping off of anything else other than his facial expressions. He looked 100% ready to drop that fucking hammer.
Well, for sure. In this
Yeah.
moment, it was like, yeah, he had to make the split second decision, like you said. This in this case, it's kill or be killed,
Yeah.
probably. That other guy was, I don't know if was he just gonna rob him? Was he actually gonna try to take his life? Like the
Or did he
guy,
just
he
want his
made it.
groceries?
He made it. Well, this guy, he made a judgment call, and I think again, yeah, it was justified. He was felt threatened by another firearm, and I think he was justified in doing so. But it's just like, yeah, I worry about that guy's mental state going forward.
It's always interesting because when people talk about the whole cop debate, I like to get in the middle of the cop debate stuff, just because that's a perfect example of video. Like, it's very sad that somebody lost their life, yes, but that is a perfect example of how it escalates from 0 to 1,000 in that
Yeah,
nanosecond. And that nanosecond that he was a step ahead of the game, we would have been
yeah,
looking at somebody dead through a Ring doorbell that didn't just that through a mugging, because that's just what it
sure.
was. And a lot of people don't realize that. Ugh, ugh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, no, yeah, like
shake
you
that
just
out.
mentioned, there was no even escalation. It wasn't a gradual thing. It wasn't like there was, like bantering back and forth where it was like a stalemate kind of thing before someone. No, that was just like legit. The guy's coming, gun drawn to jack you up, and you gotta figure out what you're gonna do in that moment.
Yeah,
And
for
fuck,
those of you who weren't watching, who are listening to the podcast, literally the dude looks behind him, sees the other guy. The other guy notice, like, it's the bad guy sees the good guy sees the bad guy. The bad guy recognizes that he's been caught, and he literally makes a split-second decision to go. I'm going to do this bad thing to this good guy, and then in that moment when he's making that kind of decision, the good guy draws his pistol to get ready to take the shot, and it was just all of a sudden it was just go, and that was it.
yeah,
It just, as soon as it started, it stopped. So that was, oh, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. That, like, I feel the adrenaline from it, because like I know I've been in those situations, albeit training with simunitions,
mhm.
but still having a weapon pulled on you, even if it's an AR-15 that shoots little mini paintballs at you, that shit still just gets the
For
blood fucking
sure.
pumping. All
And
right.
speaking of which, speaking of having guns drawn on people, this next one get pulled up as a doozy.
You
Jesus.
want you want to go for it, man.
Okay, so the
Ah,
the header the header is again really funny and ironic. Tell me you're an American without telling me you're an American, and so naturally it's about guns. So the it's, am I being a pussy? The guy
similar
says my
BlackBerry 7 is the gentleman asking the question. God, I love those names.
My girlfriend, 19-year-old female, wants me, 20-year-old male, to hold my Glock to her head while we're having sex, and I've been taught gun safety since I was 6 years old. I'm not sure how to go about this. I don't want to do it, but every time she sees it, she says, quote, "You should hold this to my head while you rail me," end quote. What do I do?
I'll tell you exactly what you do, sir. I'll tell you exactly what you do. You go out, you get yourself a real gun, which is a 1911, a Colt 1911, by the way. You make sure you clear the magazine. You make sure it's empty. You load that motherfucker up. You click it, clack, you rack it back quite a few times to just double check that nothing's in there. Send that slide forward. Drop the hammer forward. And then here's the amazing thing about 1911s is that they will not fire. There's a lot that has to go on for a true 1911. Like my 1911, I had to be like really gripping the back of it, because the backstop of the pistol grip was where my safety was. And then if I
Mhm.
didn't have that hammer cocked, I could have the I guess you would call it the thumb webbing safety
Yeah.
depressed. I pull that trigger, it's going nowhere. It's going nowhere. So you have to have the thumb safety depressed, the hammer cocked, and you have to have a round chambered for something to happen. Unlike a Glock, you just pull the
Yeah,
fucking trigger. So get
right.
yourself a real gun, triple, double, quadruple, octuple check that it's clear, put it to her head, rail the fuck out of her, and make that dream come true. Or
I,
you
I
scare
think
the fuck out of her.
I would be more concerned with what kind of fantasy she's. I mean, again, yeah, I don't want to kink shame anybody. Whatever gets you off gets you off. But I would be
Yeah.
more concerned about her desire to want this to happen. It sounds more like it's a fucking, rape fantasy kind of deal that I wouldn't be on board with for sure. Like that stuff, that shit skeezes me out. Like I will. I can't watch fucking movies that have that kind of thing in it. If it's like any kind of like sexual violence like that, I'm just like, no, that's to me that's like lazy writing, lazy storytelling. And if I was in a relationship with someone that wanted that kind of thing, I would just be like, sorry, hard pass.
I'd do it. I've manned up and done a couple things. I've manned up and done a couple things, and it's been interesting. But I'll say this, like, dude, I can't, like, I don't like have you remember the Chris Kyle movie that Brad, God, what's his name? Bradley Cooper played in
Oh,
American
yeah,
Sniper. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. I like that's my ideal sex scene. That is my ideal sex scene. A little bit of heavy kissing. They go into the bedroom. The door closes. End of scene. You know exactly
yeah,
what happened. That
right,
is. I hate those drawn out. Like, dude, if I want to watch porn, I know where to go. Don't. I
right,
don't.
yeah,
I don't need to see soft core. Like, I get you wanted your R rating, M Night
sure,
Shyamalan, but like, come
yeah.
on, bro. Yeah. um.
Yeah, gratuity for the sake of gratuity, but especially when it's like it delves into like the whole
Yeah.
the violent thing. So it's like, yeah, I don't know if that's really her thing, and he wants to actually try to, do something to appease his woman. Then yeah, by all means, make sure that it's done in the utmost safety. I was gonna say, remember a number of years back, I don't know if you can still even get them, but you could probably find them on eBay. They used to have like the realistic looking guns, but that were water pistols. You just
Oh.
fucking buy a water pistol Glock on eBay, and you even fill that shit up with water or something, and then you put that to her head, and then
Oh,
squirt,
dude.
squirt.
There's a guy on YouTube the other day who was showing me an all metal full Glock. Like it was an airsoft gun, but it was full metal Glock. Like it legit looked like it was real. Like
Wow.
it was funny because he posted up. He's like, "Tell me which one is a Glock and which one's fake." And I'm like, "They're both airsoft guns because I know it's an airsoft channel." But you take somebody who's not really well versed in any kind of weaponry, you're just like, "What? They're
Yeah.
both real." Yeah. So
And
like,
especially from a distance, I've got a fucking CO2 cartridge BB gun that, if for all intents and purposes, like if you didn't see the thing at the bottom,
yeah,
like the twist on to screw in the CO2 cartridge, if you didn't, weren't close enough to see that the chamber was only big enough for a BB to come out, if you're like 20, 30 feet away,
not even.
you have you have no idea that that's not a real weapon.
Yeah, not
None.
even 10 feet. 10 feet.
So
Sometimes, like you have a weapon pointed at you, regardless of whether or not you've been trained to have weapons pointed at you. You still like it's still a like you get like there's no way you're gonna be like, oh, that's a BB gun, ha ha, sir. No, you're like,
right.
oh fuck, yeah, no, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, here's my wallet, here's my credit card. uh, but bro, you're 20 though. Like if you think that shit's weird, like. Wait till you're in your 30s and 40s and you've been with somebody for a minute and you hear some of the requests you get. It's like, hey, I want you to try this. Fuck, did
Yeah,
you
that's what I
find
was
that,
kind
bro?
of wondering about. Like, that's her fantasy already at
Yeah,
19. Like, she sounds like she's a freaky deek, I
yeah,
think. Like, she's got a lot more untapped potential in going on than just this, I think.
yeah.
So, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
like, even if he's got a vanilla sex life ahead of him, like, bro, like, even in vanilla sex life, like, there's some shit you're gonna be asked to do in the future. Like, you're only 20, man. Like, I remember my introduction to sex, and I was like, oh, that's okay. That seems pretty tame. And like every so often, I'm like, okay, we'll just add that to the book. Let's go. It's like, all right, page 55. All right, that's a new
Right.
thing. So like, I mean, no, you're not a pussy, but like, bro, just give it some time, homie. Speaking of being a pussy here, the Sun came out with an article under Fabulous Real Life. Only ma'ams. My teen son signed me up for OnlyFans so he could get more pocket money, and he's fully supportive of my career. Then there's an excerpt where she says he's proud. He says he is proud of his mom's career and is hoping for a little more pocket money. That is by far the two
And so,
creepiest photos I've ever seen.
yeah, because in the one in the excerpt that you just read from, he like the photo clearly makes it look as if he's like trying to do a down blouse of his own mom. Like he's like actively
He
like
doesn't
staring
need to
at her
do it.
cleavage.
He doesn't need to do a down blouse. You just have to look in the general vicinity of this girl to do a down
Actually,
blouse.
both of them, like both pictures. I just looked at the other one and it caught that he's like his head is like at his mom's tits. Like what the fuck? I think Okay, this is another troubling one. Like he says that he wants it for more pocket money. I think he wants to see his mom's tits. I think he wants to go on that OnlyFan and get a little sneaky peek of his mom's areolas, and that's no bueno.
Okay, okay. So this is gonna sound really fucking weird, but stick with it. Have you ever just in the wild seen something and just been like, I have to do a deeper dive on that, or like you'll hear a name in a podcast, or like, oh, did you hear about porn star so and so, and they're talking a little bit about it, and you're like, I have to Google that now. I have to see who that is. Or like you see that really hot actress and you're just like, has she ever done porn? Like, like that just, I mean, especially with the way Google is now, you're like, can I see this person naked? You know, like it's weird. There's a line, just like with the age, there's a line, but
Sure.
every once in a while you come across something, you're just like, I think I have to see if it's out there. You know, like it's just
And more often than not, you actually can find something. Now, I don't know, with the advent of deep fakes and whatever, you have no idea really. I mean, some of them are just like blatantly, obviously faked.
yeah.
But some, it's getting to a point
Ooh,
where it's tough to
so
tell.
good, so good. But I mean, you can kind of tell when you see like three pictures in a row that are kind of similar and they all have different body styles. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
deep fakes. There's been a couple. There's been a couple out there. It's like, isn't it weird? Like now that if someone doesn't do like actual nudity, that it's like an oddity.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
a little bit.
who is it, like Araminth or whatever, that huge Twitch streamer? She doesn't do, I don't think she does nudity, because I think I've Googled her quite a few times to see if she does. But like it's weird because like she is a fucking bombshell of a woman, but she doesn't do it. You know, she just doesn't do it. And then it's weird, you got like some random little YouTube, some little random Twitch streamer who's got like 23 subs and she's got her, yeah. So weird.
Bazunga's out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, I'm a little troubled by that last one. I think that dude just wants a sneak peek at his mom's fits, and I think that he could probably. It seems, especially how those
If he's
how
right.
those the photo shoots were done. He could probably just ask, and she'd flash him like.
Oh, I guarantee you, he's the one taking the photos or
Oh,
something. He's got to be. Well, have you heard about the fucking porn stars where their dad is like the fucking producer and shit?
oh my God,
Dad,
really?
fucking 100% honest with you. There
Oh,
are female porn stars out there where dad is on set giving
oh
tips
no,
and shit. Yeah,
oh
no, there's some fucked up
no,
stuff out there.
that's nope.
I mean, there's being supportive, and then there's like, okay, bro.
Yeah, that's quite the bridge too far for sure.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy. So you don't need to read this whole thing because I read this whole thing, and I can sum the
Holy shit, it's long.
yeah. See, this is why I summed up a lot of the last ones, because a lot of the last ones were pretty long like that. Like this has 5 bullet points and still has a couple paragraphs before and after the bullet points. But basically, it says, I'm a 25-year-old male dating a 19-year-old female. We've been on 7 dates. We haven't kissed. She wants to take things, quote, slow. She struggles with intimacy and affection and has been open about that. Thoughts. It's hurting me now, and an outsider's view on our dating situation would be helpful. There's a very similar post to this where this guy was in a relationship for like 25 years where like his wife would recoil at the fact, like when he would show a little bit of an intimacy with her, and he's been married. He's been married for
Like
25 years.
how did they even get to that point? I mean, I get like obviously she's got, PTSD and it was probably, from something related to childhood and I fully understand, you know.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm
but
sorry.
like
But
how do they get to that point where they even got married in the first place? And
yeah.
then she still like recoils at the fact that,
Like, I mean,
that's
maybe, because I know I've heard stories where like women will have like a child or two, and then all of a sudden sex is just like, it's just like no more, it's no bueno. It's like when somebody eats a food and they get violently ill from food poisoning, and then they will never touch that food again. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if it's prepared by Bobby Flay or Gordon Ramsay, where it's going to be perfect and amazing. They will not touch that food. because
So
of that thing.
you like stories, and especially I think stories that make me look like an idiot, which just absolutely does. Okay, I was a child, but are you ready for another story?
Yes. Hit me, Eric. What do we got?
So I was 7 years old, and I loved pumpkin pie, loved it. And it was around the holidays. I think I it must have been, yeah, it must have been Christmas.
Okay.
Uh, and I was at like a family gathering kind of thing, and I had like a couple pieces already of pumpkin pie, and like my parents were like, "Don't have any more pumpkin pie. You're gonna get sick." And I was like, "Fuck that noise. I'm having more pumpkin pie, and if I can't like outright eat it in full view of everyone, I'm going to take a piece." So that I can have it later. So stupid 7-year-old me, right, decides that I'm gonna take a piece of pumpkin pie, not wrap it with anything, like a sensible human being or like an older individual would do. I stuck a loose piece of pumpkin pie in my coat pocket for later. Uh, Fast forward a day, I come down with the flu. Obviously,
Ooh.
I caught a bug, and so I'm ralphing and retching up bloody murder for the next couple of days, including a
Ah.
lot of pumpkin pie, which completely puts me off pumpkin pie for forever, to the point where now, again, decades later, I can smell like, that's why I like fall and pumpkin spice and whatever. It's like I smell it and I start to retch. Like,
Wow.
nope. So, okay, so now I despise pumpkin pie, but I still got this piece of pumpkin pie in my pocket. Well, naturally, over the course of being sick, I didn't have a time to tell my parents. So we're at some like holiday parade kind of deal, and we're outside and it's freezing cold. And my mom says, "Eric, it's freezing cold. You didn't bring your gloves for whatever reason. Put your hands in your pockets." And I started crying. I can't. And she's like, "Why can't you put your hands in your pockets?" There's pie in there. So she proceeds to pull out this moldy, fucking disgusting,
Ah.
like pie that, just yeah. So if it wasn't bad enough already, making me want to retch, now molded, rancid, rotten, pumpkin pie that's been sitting in my pocket for days on end.
Oh, it's so gross, Eric.
That has been enough to completely put me off pumpkin pie for years to this day.
It's so
So.
gross. It's so gross. I got the flu. I had popcorn, shrimp, and pizza fries the night before, and I don't know if it was I think I got the flu because I was sick for like 4 or 5, like I legitimately was sick for like 3 or 4 days. I think the first time I had actual pizza fries was maybe 15 years later. I think I was
Mhm.
maybe 16, 17 when I got sick, when I got the flu. And then I
Yeah.
think it wasn't until like 2010, no, 2012 or 13 until like I actually had pizza fries again when I moved to the town that I'm actually in, because there's a really good place that does like it. Their name is legitimately, like pizza, a take on pizza fries, and I was like, okay, I have to try that. But yeah, it took
Yeah.
me like 15 years before I again ate pizza fries. It was fucking, yeah, that's
So I ended up I got sick, like a similar circumstance, not sticking anything in my pockets or anything, but green bean casserole. I got sick on
uh,
that, and then there was a number of years, and I eventually ended up going back to that. But pumpkin pie, it's just like no, that was too
yeah, just
far.
that
Like,
it's just that one moment in time where it's over the
yeah,
line. It just crosses the line. You're just like, nope, never a fucking again.
right. And now, like I said, with being fall, like I love fall, but the one drawback is all the pumpkin spice shit. It's everywhere. It's like pumpkin spices and everything, and
Fucking
all the
Starbucks.
scents. All the scents are everywhere, and like my wife wanted to fuck with me one time because she likes the scent, and she just got one like a candle that just said it was like fall scented or something, but she knew what the fuck it was. And she got it and she lit it because she thought like, oh, it's probably not as bad as he says, or he's over it by now, or he'll get over it, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I walked in and I just, that smell wafted under my nose and I just like instantly started retching. She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was actually that bad. And she, to her credit, she blew it out and threw the candle away. But yeah, she didn't know how bad it was. Like it's a legit thing.
I know I've made that mistake once where somebody told me it wasn't like the smell made them sick or anything like that, but I remember somebody I know I had that instance where somebody was like, I can't stand this one thing, and I was like, bullshit, and I did it, and then I just like, nope, okay, no, legit, and like, so anytime someone's like, I can't stand or I can't do XYZ, 100% believe them, because I don't want to take that small minuscule chance that I set off whatever they had in their past, for that shit. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
That's their like. Have you ever seen the movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas?
no,
Oh
no,
my God. It's one of those where it's like he goes postal essentially before that became like an everyday thing before we started getting like the rampant like shootings and whatnot. This
yeah,
is like I think it's from the must be from the early 90s before that was more prevalent, but it was that kind of thing where I think he gets like fired from his job for something that he wasn't even his fault, and then it's just like this progressive series of just like one thing after another that just keeps happening to this dude until he finally like just goes fucking ape shit, and he's like, "That's it, enough."
wait,
He
doesn't he
like
take
grabs
a Uzi or
he
something like that?
grabs he grabs a shotgun, I think,
Oh,
and
okay.
I think I I think it's one that they couldn't remake, and it's really troublesome this day and age because I think it's an immigrant shopkeeper that I think he doesn't speak the perfect English, and so Michael Douglas is like "fuck you,
Oh,
Packy" or something, and he's like
yeah, no, I
he
have
goes,
seen this one. Yeah, because see, he's got the
"Oh no,
the
there is
Uzi on the
Uzi,
pier.
yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right,
yeah, no,
yeah."
I've seen Falling Down. Yeah, 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 I remember that. Yeah, that's God. This was the best scene. This was the best scene with the Tech Nine and the fucking burger joint. That was so good.
Yeah, but it's yeah, you can see why it's not very popular in this day and age.
It was such a God, that movie. Well, see, like I hate that. Like I hate how they can't like redo movies like that. That were just so, like even what was it? The Office. Like they're like Michael Scott is like, there's no way in hell we can remake The Office nowadays. It was so sexist. It was so that I was like, yeah, that's what made it so good.
I'm surprised. Please tell me you've seen, because I mean, The American Office is great. It's one of like bar none, like one of the greatest shows. But in my opinion, the British Office, which was the original one, is fucking leaps and bounds even above the American one. So please tell me you've seen that.
I've seen clips. I've not seen
Oh my
full
God.
videos, but I tried to watch a couple full videos of The American Office, and I was like, this is like boring as fuck. Like I don't want to watch real life happen in front of me.
No, it's so my opinion about that is like it went on for far too long. Like the British version of The Office, it was three series of 6 episodes, which is like the Brits know how to do TV. They
Yeah,
like they leave you wanting more, right? They cut it off at the perfect time where it's like at its peak, where it's like you want more, but they know that any more would just ruin it. So that's where I think the American Office it has like how many 9 seasons or some shit like that
yeah.
with each season with like 20 some episodes. It's just too much, and it's like it's a great cast of characters. It's supremely funny. I urge you to try to give it a chance, but
Yeah.
yeah, but especially in comparison, the fucking British Office dude is just man mwah, leaps and bounds above.
Well, I've seen the British Office. Like I've given it a shot, but like, it's weird because like I like Parks and Rec. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
but okay, season one is trash. I don't know how they got renewed for season two.
Right.
I have no idea. But season two is that leaps and bounds better, and just
Yeah.
I think the next couple of seasons are great. But it did like it was almost like that final season was they're like, okay, we know we got renewed for one too many seasons. Let's
Sure.
go ahead and end it. But have speaking of things that ended like end too soon, have you seen Last Man on Earth?
No, I have not.
So Last Man on Earth is basically about COVID-19 before COVID-19. Like so like it kills off all these people, and this one guy who's a really weird comedian. like is the last man on Earth. Like he thinks he's legitimately the last person on Earth. And then kind of half, like 3/4 of the way through season 1, a woman comes into it, and like these, it's not the people you would think that come into it, you know? Like they're very off the wall characters. It's very realistic, which is really nice. But like all of a sudden there's this big like it's a big spoiler too, but it comes to this head where like there's this huge fucking turning point, and then it just got canceled.
Oh no.
And it's just like it built to this big ass fucking crescendo, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, like this is a part where it could get really fucking good and
Oh,
really
it's the worst.
interesting. And then you're just like, nope, done. And because like I finished it, and it was like, when is season? I think it was like, when is season 4 or 5 coming out? And they're like, it's not. It's just it was
Never.
canceled. And I was like,
Yeah, that's the real drawback with especially like network and just TV in general. Like you pretty much have to have like as the creator or whatever to go to the producer and go to the network that you're pitching it to, and it's like, look, this is our creative vision. It's going to take 4 years for us to play this out, properly. You either have to give us the 4 years or, we walk. And most of the people are not going to accept that. They're going to be like, well, we're not going to like green light the show to be on here for 4 years and lose out on, ad
yeah.
revenue and all kinds of shit if it completely tanks. So,
See,
yeah,
that's something I do with fuck you money. Hey, remember how you want to make season 5? Yeah.
Do
What
it
do
for
you
me,
need? What do you
personally.
need? Yeah, we're gonna finish this one way or another. We're gonna tell your story. You've
That's
got
awesome.
2 seasons. 2 seasons. Finish it. Finish it.
Well, that's a lot of so I mean, like I know that Netflix got involved with some of that, and like Amazon Prime, and what was the like Veronica Mars did like a Kickstarter or whatever to bring that back and be like, we never got the proper resolution. They wanted to do a like a finale movie or whatever, and I think they ended up getting like enough money where they were able to do like a limited run miniseries or something to finish it off.
Nice.
And so that's like some people are doing that now, but I can't. I don't know. Did you watch Lost at all?
I I got very lost watching Lost.
So I loved that show until the last season, and then especially like, well, the entirety, not just the finale, which is what a lot of people have the most like problems with.
Yeah.
But I hated like the entire last season. But that was another one of the things where it's just like, okay, we're gonna keep cranking this shit out as long as it stays popular and as long as it gets that viewer base. And then once it declines, then we're gonna wrap it up and cancel it. And so then it was kind of like, well, shit, we got all these open plot lines that we need to resolve. Fuck it, just make it that the island's magic and this and that and whatever, and
Yeah.
just any old shit. And then it was just like kind of a race to the finish line. That's why I meant like Breaking Bad almost did it like in the perfect way. They said, this is our character arc. This is where he starts and this is where he finishes. This is how long we need to do it. Are you on board with it? And AMC was smart enough to say, yep, we trust you, Vince Gilligan, fucking do it.
See,
And
but with those, like it, like I think to have something that where they're like, yeah, I trust you with it. It's because he had a fleshed out story when he
yeah,
went to somebody. Whereas I'm pretty sure with Last Man on Earth, the guy was just like, what would you like? It was basically like, hey, what would you do if you were the last man on Earth, which is a couple of people with this random virus thing that happens, and like some of the shit gets a little fucking like it's out there. Like some of the shit is just way out there, but at the same time, like he'll snap. Like there are a couple moments where like he'll just snap you back to reality, and you're like, oh, that's right, reality's a bitch. But like like when you have a fleshed out story and you can really see like in the progression of shit, like yeah, like I could see why something like Breaking Bad would be greenlit because they're like, check out this amazing story, and you're just like, yeah, no, yeah, okay, yeah, here's what do you need, as a
well, but even with that, I mean, as groundbreaking as an incredible. I love Breaking Bad. It's one of my favorite shows. But even that one had some duds. Like there was that episode. I don't know if you watch the show, if you're familiar with it.
yeah,
There was that one episode where it was just nothing but the fly that was stuck in Walt's car, and it's like, really, 45 minutes of fucking this? Like, seriously?
did you watch
So
Rick and Morty? Do you watch Rick and Morty at all?
no, I
Yeah,
know enough about it,
yeah.
but
Yeah, there was an episode where Morty, who's basically a teenager, he's like 16 or so. They don't really tell you his age, but like his mom is a horse doctor, and they're doing surgery or whatever, and he finds the horse jacker off her, and he's like, "Oh yeah, mom, I'll start volunteering." And then Rick is like, "Oh, I'm using horse semen for something," and of course it's from his mom's work, and then it just gets so fucking weird and crazy. You're just like, how did this get greenlit as a fucking story? You know,
Yeah.
like everything else is exceptional, and then I think there's been like 3 or 4 episodes out of like the 5 seasons where you're just like, okay, no, like just no, like that was a stretch, big guy. That was a stretch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so weird. This is to kind of jump topics here again. I'm really interested in this one. This is off of Two Chromosomes. I think Two Chromosomes is a female only kind of thing where they talk about two X chromosomes or whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a female subreddit. But my gym just instated a new rule about shorts, lengths, so that men won't stare at us. Apparently, they've been having a lot of issues with dudes staring at chicks' asses and stuff like that at the gym. And so they instituted a new rule. Fun little side note in this massive paragraphy nonsense here. Basically, she's at a military installation, number one. And number two, apparently there's been a lot of issue that's been happening with guys looking at women's asses. I don't like, okay, first off, you're at the gym. If you're at the gym, I know what some women's gym clothing looks like, and I also know what some men's gym clothing looks like too. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a very ripped male in a military gym in BDUs. You just can't look away. I've seen some dudes with some shit where I'm just like, huh? Like you just can't help but look, you know? So I don't really get it. I want to fall back on the what's that rule where if you're out in public you have no right to privacy if you're out in public, you know what I mean? Kind of want to fall.
Especially if you're at a gym. I mean, like you said, I mean that's what people do is they're there to work out and also to people watch. I'm sure there's a fair amount. And for the most part, I think those people wear the outfits that they wear because they want that attention. Now, certainly, making again, dyed in the wool feminist, and I don't think that women should be penalized, and they should be the ones to have to fucking make adjustments because of what it's doing to the men and whatever. There was a thing at Notre Dame a couple of years back where they were talking about wanting to ban what you call it, fucking leggings and yoga pants because of the impure thoughts that it was giving the male students. It's like, no, like the girls should be able to wear whatever the fuck they want. Like,
Yeah.
and the guys should just have enough self-respect and enough respect for the women to, not fucking sexually harass them or certainly like grope them or anything like that. So I get her like frustration of not liking the rules and the mandate being, forced on the women when it should be like, hey, dudes, stop being fucking,
Stop being pervs, yeah.
yeah, stop being creepy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, she should expect that there's going to be some level of like dudes fucking staring at women, especially if they're attractive women working out.
Yeah.
That's fucking human nature. Like, you can't tell me that the flip side isn't true. But yeah, if they're being like egregious about it, and certainly if it becomes a level where they're like being like creepy, pervy dudes, and then certainly if there's any kind of level of physical contact, that is not okay.
Yeah, no,
But
that's horrible. Like you're right. You should, like, if you're a fit individual and you've got what is essentially saran wrap on your legs, and you're walking by me and you've got a nice body, I'm gonna look. Whether you're a man or woman, I'm going to fucking look. Like I've stared at some dudes' asses that I thought was a chick's ass because the leggings and because I don't know, I was just like, damn, oh, bro, you got a nice ass, man. Like, and I'm straight as an arrow, but like, it's just weird to me that like when you go out in public, I firmly 100% believe that you have no right to privacy. You are out in the general public, and you're right. It the same thing goes for men as well as women, because the women, if I'm looking at that dude who's ripped in that shirt, you're looking at that dude who's ripped in that shirt. Whether
Yeah.
it be my 2 minute stare and drool while the dude's doing pull ups versus your 15 seconds, it's a different story. But yeah, like I'm on board with you 100% there. 100%.
Eh, Plus, there's a little bit different too with. I mean, I agree for the most part in theory to what you're saying. Like, you certainly have a lot more, restrictions to your expectation of privacy. Well, I think where I draw the line was I saw this video of this woman that was just like shopping in Walmart, and this pervy dude kept following her around from aisle to aisle, snapping pictures of her. That's not okay. Like, I mean, she's in public, but this guy is taking photographs of her ostensibly to use to fucking jerk off to later. So her being pissed off about it and wanting something done about it, I think she's absolutely within her right. Like
Oh,
that's fucked up, man.
100%. 100%. Oh my god, there's a hilarious video about that. Um, Oh yeah, we gotta listen. We gotta listen to this one too. This one's fuck. I think you'll get a kick out of this. But there was a dude. So there's a guy. There's three friends. There's a guy on three dudes on a giant ass couch, and one of the guys had his girlfriend sitting on his lap, and then her feet were on this dude's other leg while she was just kind of chilling on her boyfriend. And he turns you can see him turn his camera a little towards her feet, and he snaps a photo. His flash is on. And they catch him taking a photo of her feet, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you
Oh my
doing?"
God.
And I was like, "Okay, like,
Oh wow.
bro, like, I mean, you do you, but like, come on, homie,
Yeah.
it's like I'm with you 100%. I find it funny that he got caught. What he was doing was 100% wrong." But it was funny that he forgot to leave that he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take a photo of her feet with the flash on. But like, yeah, I hate, I don't see. This is why you should be legally allowed to punch people in the fucking face. You know what I mean? Like, if like there's enough people that was like, yo, no, he was perving. Well, see, what happened was, he was following her. She told him to stop 3 times, and he didn't. So
Yeah.
I broke his nose. The officer would be like, yeah, no, you're good to go. I'm gonna, you're congratulations, you have a broken nose and you're charged with stalking. Let's go to jail.
Yep.
I I don't know. Like, I just, ugh, it's weird. I hate that shit. But yeah, when you go out in public, I feel like what was it? That did you see that one chick that went on the fucking red carpet and basically what was a laundry? Like, she basically was in a corset that was see through with random stripes for her top. Like, she basically put stripes that went across her nipples to hide the bad parts, so it wasn't technically nudity. But I mean,
Right.
you see stars go out in those sheer dresses and they show nipple all the
Yeah.
fucking time. Like, I hate to say, I hate to be that guy who maybe victim blames a little bit, but like, you kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like I did a poll where I tried to poll some people who did selfies and stuff like that. It didn't work out too well, but I'm like, how often do you know what you're doing when you're taking pictures that are a little that I don't want to call it risque, but like where you take photos that are a little bit more overtly sexual in nature.
Thirst traps, right?
Yeah, thirst traps, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then their basic response was, a lot of them were like, I don't know what you're doing, air quotes.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them were like, yeah, I know exactly 100% what I'm doing.
See, because a lot of it falls into, and again, anyone that is legitimately feeling, like they're getting unwarranted and unwanted attention, yeah, I'm fully on board with, them, pursuing legal action and whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, there's the problem lies where the people that are doing it want that kind of attention, but only from certain individuals.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is they're getting attention from just any Tom, Dick, and Harry on the street that has access to the same, their feed or their sites or whatever. And then those dudes are acting on it like, oh, sending, unwarranted, unsolicited responses. Like, oh, you're hot, I want to nail you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. if they were getting that same attention from who they want it from, it wouldn't be an issue. But the fact of the matter is they're getting that attention from the people that they don't want it from. And so that's when it becomes an issue. But yeah, I don't, again, I don't ever think it's okay. Like, like dick pics. I don't know why that's a thing. Like, what makes you think that, some random woman, or even if you're, seeing her or whatever, is going to want to, unless she expressly asked for it,
I'm curious to see if
what,
that's
what,
ever worked.
what makes you think that they want to see your dick? you know
What do
like
you, what do you think is the percentage that it's actually worked though? That's
that
my
is what, like unsolicited, where some like rando just sends in, like an unsolicited dick pic.
check out
mm.
my dick, lady. Just when
Probably in the single digits, like 7% is probably a high margin even. I'm guessing. And no, and certainly there's women out there that want
yeah.
that and will request that. And then by all means, if that's what your lady or your you know guy friend wants or whatever, then by all means fucking do it. But
Send it.
don't send unsolicited dick pics. Just don't.
Well, my buddy Esparza, like we would go to the mall when I was when I was in South Dakota with him. We would just go to the mall and like he hit on like 10, 15 women, and I'm like, dude, he's like, yeah, but I have a date tonight. And I'm like, yeah, but you got rejected 14 times. He's like, I don't give a shit. I got a date tonight. And I was like,
Just playing the averages.
I was like, okay. I mean, that's fair, buddy. That's fair. That's fair. So I mean, yeah, like that's fair.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of game. I mean, I'm married now and I have been for a long time, but like in that even in like the dating world, like I didn't have that mad gifted gab kind of game where you can just like start any conversation with like I don't know, like
I could do
some
that.
people
Yeah.
some people do it like it's hey, and more power to them, and some people get insanely lucky. Dude, my brother was in a relationship for 8 years, and it ended recently, and so he kind of was like playing the field, testing the waters, like, oh, I've been out of the game for 8 years, and he was just like fucking nailing everything left and right, and I'm like, I mean, he's my brother, so obviously I think like he's a good looking dude or
Yeah.
whatever, but I'm like, what? How the fuck are you doing this? It's just like you don't have a great job, you don't have a lot of money, you have a small apartment that kind of smells like cat piss. How the fuck are you like nailing everything that moves? But
Well,
yeah, he's one of those where he's just got that winning, beaming personality that just attracts the ladies, I guess. So
if I can reel a woman into a conversation, that's usually a good sign. If I can get her to go on a date with me, that's an even better sign. It's the getting the women to start the conversation. That's the hard part, especially with online dating. It's so hard to get a woman to actually start a conversation. But like speaking of the wanted and unwanted attention, when I take Helios out with me to go on walks and stuff like that, where I'm trying to attract certain attentions, I'm getting the guys that are stopping by, asking, the older couples that think it's really cute, or like it was funny because the last time I went out and I took Helios out, I encountered like six couples, and I was like, and all the girls were like, "Oh my god, he's so cute." I'm like, "Yeah," da, 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 da. But I'm like, "Where the fuck are the group of girls just walking these? Like this
right,
is prime
yeah.
time for the women to be out walking these trails and shit." And I'm just like, "Where the fuck?" Or like, there was a few times I went to the local university in town, right? And I started, I was, I sat down just trying to like get them used to people, and a lot of people were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm trying to socialize them." Like, what?
Yeah.
What about your friends? It was like, there's a reason I'm out here, like I'm just trying to get them used to random people, and like the few people that stopped by were just other dudes that were interested,
Yeah.
and it like a lot of the women were like, "Oh, that's cute, hee hee," and then they would just keep walking, and I'm like, but like if I can get you interested in the conversation and I can get you on a first date, usually things are good, but with the way the world works now, dude, it's just like if I can't and I'm not good with openers. I am garbage at that shit. So like it's weird because a lot of times a lot of my female friends are like, "Dude, how do you not have a girlfriend?" It's like, "Yeah, I don't know. Like you're such a cool dude." It's like, "You?" And they're like, "No, no." It's like, okay, that's fair. But it's funny because I'm like, they don't. You gave me a shot. You opened up to me. That's the
Mhm.
fucking hard part, and I think that's probably what your brother's really good at is he opens them up to where they are conversating, they're talking, and he can find the things that you like. Because if I can start finding out what you like it's amazing. Like I'll reference a small little thing that a girl says, like a couple days later, she's like, "You remembered?" I was like, "That's a deal. Like that's a big thing that I remembered something you told me." You
Yeah, well,
know?
because there's so many guys are
Yeah.
just so like completely, self-involved and superficial that they just don't even take the time to listen. So it's like, and that's another frustrating thing too. I'm really fortunate that I've never had to deal with like the online dating kind of thing or apps or whatever the hell. I met my wife the old-fashioned way. So, but it's crazy to me like the amount of so I had mentioned my buddy before when we were talking about the Reddit thing, like the advice. He had a situation where he went to school with this girl and was in love with her, and she didn't reciprocate. Like, just wanted a platonic friendship kind of deal.
Yeah.
And he kind of just still hung around, just biding his time, kind of just like, respectful of her. Obviously, he wasn't, I don't want to say like biding his time, like he was a creeper the whole time, but it's like, no, he still, like, she had relationships, he had relationships, whatever, and they still, maintained a friendship. Well, she ended up like moving out of state to go like get engaged with this other guy and lived with this other guy for a number of years. And then she came back to visit family, and then they like hooked up, and then next thing you know, that's like his in. She leaves the other guy. She's now with him, and now they're married. And I actually officiated the wedding, which was really fucking cool.
Nice.
They've got two kids, and they're living that like happily ever after kind of life kind of thing. But that's rare, that it's like it's so weird. But my long-winded story was that she kind of sowed her wild oats or whatever and wanted like the stuff with the bad boys,
The freedom.
and then when she wanted to kind of grow up, that's when she quote unquote settled for the nice guy that loved and respected her and would listen to her, and that they could have a family together or whatever. But she didn't want that before in her younger days, because she wanted to try to change the bad guy, the guy that would ride his Harley and flip off everybody. And it's like, so this was my buddy was like the safe option that was always
The
kind
fail
of gonna
safe.
be there,
Yeah.
and that's like, yeah, I'm incredibly happy for them, because she's a lovely girl, and they're wonderful, and I'm so glad that he finally got the relationship that he always wanted. But there's part of me too that's just like, dude, he was there all along and has been in love with you and pining for you, and you like fucked him over until like you wanted to grow up. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of.
I
Mm.
I have I want to be very careful how I say this because um, I don't. I, okay, you know what? I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it because this could be very detrimental to me, but I had have had a very similar situation to that. There's a very similar situation that I see. My fear is if what happens to your friend happens to me, where she comes to me and is like now okay with things. I have a feeling that I'm going to resent all of the previous past, to where it's like, um, okay, yeah, I've fucked you now. I've gotten the few things that I wanted to achieve, like check off the boxes, and then
Yeah.
and then it's just like, well, I don't like this. I don't like how you've done that, and like the past is gonna come back to haunt me. I kind of hold grudges a little bit. Like I remember things,
Yeah.
whether or not I remember it correctly. Oh, maybe it was a red Dodge and not a pink neon. Like maybe it may not be 100% correct, but like
Right.
there are moments where I'm just like, do I like I really want it to happen? Yes. Like, do I want it to happen 1,000%? But there's a small part of me that fears that if it does happen the way I hope it happens, I might in a couple of years just go, I'm waiting for something bad to happen, or like I'm so mad at what did happen that it's just like, fuck, I don't know, you
Yeah.
know. So
No, I fully get it, and I'm the same way in terms of holding grudges and doing things out of spite and whatnot.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, it's not the most healthy way to live, or good, for the mental health either. But no, I certainly get it, and I think to some extent that's human nature, and you just gotta be cognizant of that that's a possibility, and and hope that if it does, kind of start playing out like that, that you just will have, I don't know, I guess, evolved to
Yeah.
kind of pass that, and just be happy living in the moment, and not, dwell on the past. I super
There's
understand. It's
yeah.
it's easier said than done. I know it's not just so easy to, turn things off like a tap, but
There's a lot of things to unpack with it on both of our sides. It's interesting, like because they have their own fears about it too, as well as I have my own fears because of the way that that person operates. It's a very interesting dynamic, and we've actually had this conversation where we kind of talked about things. And like I don't think I've told them that, but like at the same time, I think they may think about that. And there's a lot to it because like have you ever had an online friend and then met them in person and then like the dynamic just changed and it was just like for the worse or
Mm,
like
no, because I've been super lucky in terms of like meeting people through video games and online and whatever. Like the interactions that I've had, where if I've had the opportunity to meet them in real life, it's gone super well. Like
yeah
I know it's at some point in time, you and I, like, just over the course of these couple conversations that we've had, we've got like great rapport together.
yeah
And I'm sure, like at some stage once the pandemic is in the rear view, yeah, like you're a state away, dude. Like, I mean, well, I think we'll meet up, and I'll get you to try a tangerine white claw, So, no, I absolutely, I haven't had any kind of unfortunate thing, but
yeah
apparently it sounds like you have.
uh,
So,
I mean like this was when I was a lot younger, like when I was just kind of like fucking around like the early days of like video games and stuff like that. It wasn't like I met any like older guy or whatever like that, but it's just like,
yeah,
you have like a couple of friends and then like you maybe take it from like, oh, your video games to like, oh, now you're Facebook friends and you're like, you kind of find out a little bit more through a friend or something like that. But like, it's really interesting to kind of see the dynamic change sometimes when you're originally friends on platform A and then you take it to somewhere else and it's just kind of like this other weird dynamic that kind of snowballs and it, like that's our legitimate fear between the two of us is that if we take this to the next step, what could potentially come of it if we take things to this next step to where things could be, where like no longer are we limited by specifics like A, B, or C. It's basically like we have free reign to do whatever the fuck we want to do, and how
yeah.
might that change the dynamic? So
That's it. Not only is it incredibly freeing, but also I can see the flip side of that being incredibly scary as well, because there is that level of like, anonymity to a certain extent. Like even if you're sharing like really personal, intimate things with this other person, you still have that level of,
that
it's
connection.
it's over the internet or whatever. So there's still that kind of like barrier where, uh, once you meet in real life, that barrier goes away, and it's like it's hard to sweep that kind of thing under the rug. It's just
Yeah,
like you've shared all this stuff, and now they know, like, if you're telling them bullshit because
yeah.
they've seen you in person. So it's
Yeah, my problem is like with a lot of the limitations. It's like obviously, it's just my fear is that like I know myself and I know who I am, and it would just be I feel like it would be such a game changer that it's either going to change things for the better in my way, or
yeah,
on the flip side, it like if it doesn't go the way I would want it to go or something like that, it's just all of a sudden gonna tank, and I'm
sure.
just gonna become a really bad friend, and then next thing who new number, who this,
Well,
so
I mean, you said that you've had like similar conversations, so I mean,
yeah,
obviously that topic is, there's at least a level of, respect and attraction, and like the what if of maybe that, could happen. So I mean, maybe I my suggestion would just be, to be completely transparent with things, just let it all like hang out and just be like, even be honest with what the conversation like you're like having with me, saying that, if it were to go a certain way, you're concerned about, years in the future, dwelling on the past and being resentful of that. And maybe that person has the same feelings. And so maybe, that's the same fear on her end as well.
Yeah.
So
And we've had this exactly what we're talking about is the exact conversation. It's just that you're not Eric, you're her.
yeah,
So like it's great, and that's what I love about this person is that they're it's probably like the way you and your wife are, which is communication. It's just that she's so open with me that I fuck dude, like I talk to her like my significant other. She is that close with me, and
yeah,
it's fucking gorgeous. It's awesome. It's great to have somebody like that in your life. I think it's
yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
You,
Absolutely.
all
So
right,
I mean, I wouldn't. So if excuse me,
you're all good.
oh my my voice is starting to go. We've been going at this for three
Yeah,
hours now. No, I think that if you guys have that level of friendship and intimacy, that it's you've already been friends for a number of years, and that relationship is there. I wouldn't, kind of wait, especially if there's that mutual attraction kind of thing, and if you think that it could pan out, I can understand the hesitancy from the standpoint of, if it goes too fast, if it flames out, then you don't have the platonic friendship that you both value.
yeah,
I get that, like, and not wanting to jeopardize that, but if there's a chance and you both agree that there could be something more there, then fuck it, man. Like, do it. Life is way too fucking short to play games,
yeah, for sure.
honestly. Like, if you both want it, and it sounds like from conversations you do, I'd say go for it.
Yeah, and that that is, I think, in the works. I think there's a moment. There's going to be a moment, a come to Jesus moment in the near future where there's going to be a clashing of the titans, as they say, and shit's about to get real, as they say.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
so Eric, I want to make you giggle in the final bit here. Also, I've had to
Okay.
pee for the last 2.5 hours.
Oh
Yeah,
shit,
it's funny
sorry,
because
dude.
you were like, oh, I gotta pee. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'll be. I was like, all right, I'm good to go. And then like we're half hour into the podcast. And I'm like, I really gotta go, but like I'm a consummate professional.
Oh, dude, like, you don't have to worry about me. For
Yeah.
for real. If you can pause it, and then with the magic of editing, we can pick up right back. If you got to piss, dude, I don't want I don't want you to
I
like
am
get
so
something. So
I am so lazy that I've held it for 2.5 hours because I did not want to edit. I could start and stop the recording, but like
yeah.
I'm so lazy that I don't want to stitch two fucking things together. That this is
God,
now my
I
life.
feel you.
Like it's
That
it's like I
sucks.
have one less goddamn thing to do. All right. So this is off a Contagious Laughter, and it is
Okay.
fucking hilarious. So we're,
Right.
we're, we're gonna we're gonna listen to it, giggle, and hopefully end it on a good note. You ready?
Okay.
I'm really upset now.
Why?
When I was young, my mother said, "You can be whoever you want to be."
Okay.
Turns out that's not true.
It's not?
Identity theft is a crime. You cannot be who you want to be, bloody. They must be themselves. You try to take their identities and you get in trouble. The police are coming for you. Yeah. Wee-oo. Like those people, they're coming, they say, "Hey
I
man,
like
you're
the
not
Wii U, Wii
I love that guy. Oh, I love it.
U. You're not Miss Judith Woods.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he goes on for a minute or two. It's great. I love that guy. Well,
Holy shit, look at all those awards, man.
oh god, isn't that amazing? Yeah, 59,000 upvotes. Isn't that
Holy
insane?
cow.
But
That's crazy.
the one thing I don't like about these things is that this will get posted and then it gets cross posted on like 7,000, like 7 or 8 other subs, and then because
Yeah,
it's so funny, it gets a million upvotes, and then you see like the same thing over and over again. It's
right.
ridiculous. Oh my god. Well, Eric, it's been absolute pleasure as always, my man.
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't think I've ever done a podcast with 3 people on. So I don't know if you and your buddy that does the other podcast maybe want to come on and you know, throw it in or what have you. Or I gotta, you know, that's something I gotta do is I gotta find 3 people to do a podcast with.
So, yeah, my brother Dylan and I that do the podcast together, we have had, Zoom calls where it's both, we've been on the same, screen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, basically just the one invite, and it's just we both just have our headphones, plugged in. So
Oh.
I mean, it's certainly something that we could do. We just need to be in the same location.
Yeah, same page. Yeah, no, I told Miguel, let's get it, man. So again, who are you? Where are you from? Let the people know. Put yourself out.
So, Eric from File Under Entertainment Podcast with Dylan and Eric. We've got a whole season out there for people to listen to with covering movies from an alphabetical approach. We're doing that exact same thing with movies, talking about bands and artists. We've also got a side project called the Arts and Crafts Interview Podcast, where we're talking to musicians and other creative type people about their passions and whatnot. So
And that's a cat's ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my cat Wrigley decided he wanted to get in on the podcast as well. Say hi to Jerry. Say
Hey,
hi.
Wrigley, what's up, big? Oh, he looks pissed. There he is.
He's got it. He's polydactyl. He's got extra
Oh, that's
toes
so
on all
dope.
this. Yeah.
So dope, big guy. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
God.
the arts and crafts interview thing, and we are still doing movie-related content. We got this side thing called Side Splitters, which is a fun little thing. We're pretty ambitious for our second season. We're doing a whole lot of shit, so it's probably going to be a long season. But we typically record and post episodes out on Tuesdays. So yeah, File Under Entertainment Podcast. We've got a lot of stuff. You can find us on all the major platforms, and we're at File Under Pod on Twitter and TikTok, and yeah. It's a fileunderpod@gmail.com is our email address. If any musician or, like streamer or anything like that wants to have interview or fun conversation, it basically just be like a 45-minute version of what Jared and I just did in 3.5 hours. Just lots of laughs and just talking shit and just having a good time and whatnot. So
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully your listener base doesn't get too fed up with me, because now they'll have like 6 hours worth of content of hearing my voice along with yours. So, in pretty close succession. So hopefully they don't. It's not overkill. So,
dude, that podcast I listen to is called PKA. It's a 4.5. It's like a 4 to 4.5 hour podcast. And look, that shit is dope. I like the longer form stuff. Now, I do have a question. Were you staring at my screen the entire time, or could you still see me?
I could still see you.
Okay, good.
I mean, I just saw you in like the little screen, but I mean, yeah, just depending on what we were talking about. Like if we were doing something related to the screen.
Good.
Yeah.
Just making sure you weren't just you were staring at a random dumb screen instead of my face the entire time.
No.
I was like, oh, that
Always.
probably would have been bad. All right. For those of you who are sticking around at the end of the show, first off, thank you for listening. We love your faces, and I got approval from my cousin Addison, who is that musician that I was talking to you about earlier. Way back in like 2000, and I think it was 11 or 12. Like I recorded a couple of songs that he played for us on his guitar, and he's amazing. I'm about to throw in one of his remastered versions that he's done because he's still doing it. So I'm going to send him your way, see if he wants to talk to you.
Yeah,
as well
absolutely.
as if you want to hear a really good musician who I guess I'm actually related to, stick around for that. So Eric, it was a grand pleasure as always, my man.
Yes. Thank you, Jared, so much. And again, as long as people don't say enough of that fucking guy, no more, then I'm willing to come on and have fun conversations like this anytime you want to. So I'm always game.
I've had no complaints. I had the same number of listeners last time as I did previous time, so we'll see what happens. All right. See you guys later. Bye now.
You And when the breeze comes, you come undone. And when the breeze comes, you fade away. You fade away. Look at what you done, what you done.